Our story begins in the small waterfront community of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Just before 2 a.m. on August 2nd, 2018, a homeowner wakes to frantic knocking on his front door. He opens the door to find a crying and clearly injured woman. He recognizes her as his neighbor,
Well,
45-year-old
being back here, what's up,
She has a
Mr.
wound on the
Negative?
top of her forehead and duct tape around her wrists. She tells her neighbor that a man has broken into her house and killed her husband. The neighbor calls 911.
911, location emergency. My next door neighbor just came and knocked on my door. When I went to
I
the
thought
door,
earlier
she
you
was
had the same
crying.
passion. What do you
She
mean?
thinks her husband is dead.
Angel shares a ghastly story. Not long after midnight, a masked man dressed in all black slipped into their home and attacked her and her husband. Angel, her voice
Still
audible
feeling
in the
better?
background
Hey.
of the 911 call, describes being brutally pistol whipped.
She says the guy broke into the house. He has a gun. She's got blood on her face where he hit her with the gun. He robbed their house, took all their money.
Angel said she feared the worst for her husband.
She can't get him to wake up or anything like that.
Need you to respond to Darien Drive. Possible homicide.
While Angel remains at her neighbor's, deputies arrive at the Sawyer home. The front door is locked. So
Remember your name? How
deputies
could I
gain
forget it,
entry
Mr.
through the
Negative?
unlocked back door. After clearing the home, they end up in the master bedroom. They walk in and can immediately tell there had been a struggle. Multiple dresser drawers were dumped out and jewelry was everywhere. Deputies find Angel's husband, 55-year-old Milton Sawyer, lying in an adjoining master bathroom. He was lying face down in the bathroom with his hands taped up behind his back. Milton, about 6 feet tall and 220 pounds, was
Hey, there you go.
motionless. He was without a pulse and stiff. There was a small amount of blood on the floor and on the toilet. He had some superficial injuries, but nothing that would have caused his death. Deputies rush Angel to the hospital for evaluation and secure the scene while they await homicide investigators. News of the unfolding tragedy reaches Milton's family. His siblings were the first to hear the devastating news. Milton Sawyer was born in 1963 in Elizabeth City,
What is this?
North
True
Carolina.
crime?
Milton's brother said they had a typical childhood. Milton loved to tell jokes and did well in school. Milton won the prestigious drum major spot in the marching band at his high school, which is also where he met his future wife. With degrees in math and science, he got a job managing data at the University of North Carolina. But the daily grind wasn't a good fit for someone as free-spirited as Milton. He believed he could do something bigger and better on his own. Milton set up a business dealing in antiques and sports memorabilia. He got married and soon became a father. Not long after, there was another addition to the family. Milton set up his own downtown store about 3 miles from his home, a shop called the Treasure Hunter. However, Milton wasn't as lucky with love as with business. He became restless in his home life and had an affair
Yeah,
that
I was
resulted
never a big
in
fan
one
of
daughter.
Assassin's
A
Creed
divorce
personally.
followed shortly after, but he remained on good terms with his ex-wife for the sake of the kids. Milton's brother said that he was a good father. He took the kids with him whenever he could. If he was working in the store, he would take the kids to the store with him. They loved being with
How am I
him.
doing? I
It seemed
appreciate you
the
for
only
asking,
thing
kiddies.
missing
I'm
from
alright.
Milton's
Not
life
really
was a
anything
partner to
crazy
share
going
with.
on, you know, just
But in
living life.
2011, while picking up his kids from school, he met just the woman, 38-year-old Angel Kessinger. Milton's children and a couple of Angel's children were similar in age and both went to the same school. That's where they ran into each other and started talking. Milton learned that Angel was born in New York and that she and her husband bounced around before landing in Elizabeth City. She was married and had 4 children, but according to Milton, she told him that she was in the process of divorcing her husband. Despite their 10-year age difference, Milton and Angel bonded over the challenges of parenting and sharing custody of their children. When Angel's divorce was finalized, Milton seized the opportunity and asked her out. When the couple wed in
You doing good though,
2012,
kiddies?
they
What's new
became
with you?
partners in life and business. At the Treasure Hunter, Angel was a constant presence. She would organize
I've never
and
played 'em.
stage the items in the shop.
Couldn't tell
Milton
you.
appreciated her help. Over the next 5 years, the couple worked to nurture their blended family of 7 children. Life seemed good for the Sawyers until the night of August 2nd, 2018. A home invasion has left Milton dead and Angel in the hospital. With dresser drawers thrown about and jewelry stolen, the scene was consistent with a robbery. The walkthrough of the crime scene with Milton positioned in the way he was
Yeah, it's all the
indicative
same
of a
bullshit,
struggle.
bro.
No
Every
head
game is like
trauma
that
was
nowadays.
found,
Every
and
open
no
world
bullet
game is like
casing.
that.
Authorities hope a full autopsy will reveal more details. Outside, deputies
Sadly.
fan out to speak to neighbors. Other than one neighbor hearing a loud banging noise, nothing of great value came from speaking with the neighbors. A further search of the home reveals the assailant's point of entry. The back door was open and there was a key on a table on the back porch. Detectives make their way to the hospital to speak with Angel. She has a superficial wound to the top right of her forehead.
Was you talking to us right now, the dog, or?
Yeah.
Angel explains that since her 2 teenage daughters were sleeping over at a friend's house, she and Milton were home alone that evening. There were only 2 children that
No,
still
just
lived in the
so.
house, so
Fair.
it was just Milton and Angel alone in the house that night, which was relatively out of the norm. Angel describes the events leading up to the attack, which she says took place at around midnight.
Y'all in your bedroom, master bedroom, watching TV?
Yep.
She gets up to go to the kitchen to get a snack, and when she opens the master bedroom door, there's a person standing in her hallway, dressed in all black.
Gonna go in having a bath. You know, black, and you're screaming. I was discussing a lot. Kept saying, get on the effing ground and give me all your effing money.
According to Angel, this was most definitely a targeted attack. The intruder asked for the keys to the business.
Hey, did you get the key?
He gave him the key when he asked it for. The guy had the gun in his face.
But he knew who you guys were.
He came right in.
He was right there.
He was right there, scared the shit out of me.
You normally keep the doors locked at your house?
Yep.
Angel explains that they leave a key on the table outside for their kids in case they need to get in late. She suggests the intruder must have found it and that's how he got in.
It's fun, but Helldivers 2 is
Talked
fucking
about the
boring,
man
bro,
assaulting her
honestly.
husband. She was terrified.
He took him to the bathroom.
That shit is fucking boring as hell.
Knelt down on the ground and tied his hands. And he just kept telling me to get the F down, bitch. And then he grabbed me by the hair real hard and threw me into our room.
Ominously, she heard a scuffle in the bathroom.
You got the cash
She said
grab
that
Star
she
Wars
tried to
game?
grab Milton's phone, which was on the floor, but the intruder had caught her.
He smashed the phone, hit me really hard. I could just feel the blood dripping down my face.
When the masked assailant took off, she said she tended to her husband.
I couldn't get him to wake up. I couldn't roll him over.
Helldivers 2 just reminds me of like a worse version of COD Zombies, honestly.
She gets emotional throughout the story. She wanted to call for help, she said, but her own phone was locked in the truck. The key was on the same keychain Milton had given to the intruder. The only option she saw was running to the neighbors for help.
I don't know where he is.
You didn't make it.
No, no.
Sorry.
Though she's distraught, Angel is able to provide investigators with a potential lead. Angel told detectives that they deal with a lot of sketchy people at the treasure hunter store. The business had fallen on hard times and Milton had started...
Yeah, it's not gonna be
selling
Game of the
gold.
Year.
The store took on more of a pawn
If that's
shop.
Game of the Year, it's a
They
really
had
bad year for
people that
gaming.
would come in with stolen items, people that were on drugs. In fact, earlier that evening, Milton had received a call from a man Angel believes could be Milton's killer. At around 8 p.m., Angel and Milton met with a young man who wanted to sell a TV. The TV, in Angel's opinion, looked like it had just been ripped off of a wall.
I
He thought it was a
don't know.
stolen
Man.
TV.
We'll have to wait
Well,
and
he
see.
met a guy named Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, who?
I don't remember the last name. He's always with this one girl. That boy just got out of jail. And the girlfriend came in trying to sell stuff so she could bail him out of jail.
And the girlfriend came in trying to pawn stuff.
She took it all from him.
Angel said she told Milton she was leery of the situation. But Dylan was a regular customer of Milton's, and now the TV was in Milton's pickup truck as he and Angel drove home.
Not in fight the whole of that. That's why I don't know why you buy this shit from people. How do I know these people aren't gonna follow us back to our house?
She didn't think that Milton should be making deals outside of the store. She had left her purse and her phone in the truck as she stormed into the house. Detectives leave Angel to
Yeah,
rest
Suicide
as
Squad's
they work
terrible.
on the lead she gave. Dylan was familiar to local law enforcement. They stated that he was a frequent flyer. Elizabeth City police officers tracked down TV guy Dylan Hustadler and bring him in for questioning.
Okay, so tell me about Milton.
I don't know anything about Milton.
Dylan's story was that he and his girlfriend sold a TV to Milton at around 8:30 p.m. the previous evening and then went to their separate homes. But the officers were having none of it.
Man, you know you've done some robberies. Did you do this?
But under questioning, Dylan changed his story. Turns out he didn't go straight home. After he sold the TV to Milton, he confessed that he and his girlfriend went to buy drugs from a dealer and then went home.
So you used it last night?
Yeah.
Then he said his girlfriend went back to her place and he called her at around 4 a.m.
My eye was killing me. That's why I woke up.
What happened to it?
Just a star.
It looks like it's black down here.
I know. It's like black eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Just a star.
So you don't have a black eye?
No.
Nobody punched you?
No.
Dylan said he and Milton were friends, that Milton was good to him, and that he had no reason to hurt him. But his story seemed to be in pieces. It wasn't just the black eye, there was a black hole in his alibi coinciding with the time of the murder.
You're leaving the part out from 12 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I never played it, bro. Don't really have any ambition to ever play it. Just looks pretty boring.
That all you have to do is tell the truth. The first time that you did the robbery, didn't we kind of go through the same thing?
Yeah.
Where you leave the part out where Dylan messes up, right? That's what you're doing right now.
No, I didn't. No.
They left Dylan to stew in the interview room. Then they came back at him harder.
My problem is with you.
You forgot about the
when you
platinum?
sit
Yeah, I
here,
forgot that.
You always try to outsmart us, and you try to pretend like you're cooperating. So are you doing that now?
No, I'm not.
Dylan understood he was about to be charged with possession of drugs and tried to wiggle his way out of being arrested.
But I'm in the middle of a murder investigation. So helping you get out of a little cocaine charge, at least in my words right now. If you're really thinking about me, I need to spend my time on trying to figure out who killed him.
Yo.
Detectives were able to gather location data from Dylan's and his girlfriend's phones that showed they were not in the area of the Sawyer home when the murder took place. Based on their matching statements and location data to back up their whereabouts, investigators were able to rule them out. Back at the crime scene, technicians gathered evidence.
That's like any game, though.
Items were collected, but none were of any value, according to investigators. While the identity of Milton Sawyer's killer remains a mystery, the autopsy was completed and the cause of death was manual strangulation. The sinister cause of death leads investigators to believe that the killer was someone Milton knew. Authorities turn their focus to Milton's inner circle for answers. They speak to his siblings first, who have been grieving since learning of their brother's death. His family says Angel and Milton have been married for quite a few years, and there's no indication or motive that anyone in their past would have had anything to gain by Milton being murdered. The family also shares details of the Sawyer marriage. Not all of it is flattering.
What do you mean? The Rise of the Ronin? Isn't that the Ninja Turtle game?
They stated that Angel thought very highly of herself. She seemed to be somewhat self-centered. Milton's brother said she always thought she was the hottest chick in the room. Angel's narcissism was very evident. If high-dollar jewelry came through the store, Milton would set it aside and give it to her. He bought her a convertible, then he bought her a Hummer. He was doing his best to provide her with all of the accessories that she wanted. Milton's brother David said that after 5 years of marriage, that wasn't enough. 2 months before the murder,
Haven't I seen the
Milton
gameplay?
started
No.
calling David pretty regularly and telling him
After this boss fight, I'm gonna check it out. For fuck's sakes, just feed the brazier. The brazier. Is that TV? Yeah, it's my monitor, my second monitor. BenQ. So what did you say this shit was called? The Ronin? Oh. This isn't the game that I was thinking of.
To infiltrate an area, and you can take out a few enemies.
Yeah, this isn't what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the I was thinking of the Ninja Turtles game that's coming out. That's not what I was thinking of at all. Yeah, Sweet Dreams Princess.
him that he thought Angel was having an affair. Milton's suspicions began in late 2017 after Angel got into a fender bender. She had some shoulder and hip pain, so she went to a local physical therapy office, and someone referred her specifically to Isaac Melcher because he did a particular procedure called dry needling. At first everything was fine, but it wasn't long before there were telltale signs of infidelity. Milton started noticing that Angel would take long showers, dress up, and put makeup on before going to the physical therapist. Milton was convinced that Angel was using the physical therapy sessions to cover up an affair with the therapist himself, 38-year-old Isaac Melcher. According to Milton's brother, every time he confronted her about it, she would deny the affair and tell him
Hogwarts or something? That's funny. I haven't watched too much gameplay on it, thank God.
Isaac at the physical therapy office. Armed with these blistering allegations against Angel, authorities run a background check on Isaac. He is a married man with 3 young children. From outward appearances, he's a professional family man. He is well respected and all of his patients really like him. When detectives arrive at Isaac's home and explain the reason for the visit, Isaac denies the allegations of infidelity. He does admit that there have been some problems with Angel's husband being overly jealous.
Later, Jackson.
He was no longer seeing her as a patient. It was noted that he said that he was going through a separation from his wife. Investigators asked Isaac for permission to search his phone. Isaac told them that he didn't have it anymore. He told them that he had awoken in the night to use the restroom and kicked over a jug of water that he used for drinking beside his bed, and that water had destroyed the phone. What's more, Isaac claims that he had purchased the phone from Walmart at around midnight on August 2nd, the exact time of Milton's murder. Detectives believe that whatever was on Isaac's
gifted,
phone
look out.
could connect him to Milton's murder. When they circle back to Angel, they confront her with the allegations.
So when you got home,
Motorized Retro, Son, Aaron, Steve, Van. Appreciate y'all.
You know, we were, you know, we made love.
What a G. Yo, God bless. You're a G. Fucking feed the brazier. Come on. Look who's talking, cutie patootie. Yo, almighty, bro. I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you. From the bottom of my hat. God bless.
Love every morning and night, every day, for the last few months. And he'll always make the joke, you must be getting tired of me. Like, no, I'm not. Our relationship was good. He was always very jealous. I mean, it was hard for him because he's always said, you're so attractive, you can have anyone you want. And, you know, I would always reassure him that I just wanted him. But
Nah, you're more super cute. Nah, look who's talking.
Angel also said
You gotta be
that
looking in a
being
mirror.
such an attractive woman, gentlemen would frequent the treasure hunter just to see her. She gave them examples of individuals that came in multiple times and would actually come up to her and tell her that she drew them in and that she was beautiful. Investigators then asked Angel about her physical therapy and Isaac Melcher.
he looked him up on Facebook, sent me a screenshot of his picture, said he's attractive, and I said, no, he's not. I'm attracted to you. I love you. I don't care about this guy. But he was still having a hard time with it. He would get angry every time I went, and he knows that I love him. He knows that I would never cheat on him. It's just not who I am.
In the end, she lamented that physical therapy just wasn't worth the hassle.
So I finally just quit. I said I'd rather be in pain physically than to make you suffer. If it was that important to you that I not go to physical therapy, I won't go.
Angel gave detectives additional leads, stating that she saw jewelry on Facebook that resembled the jewelry that was stolen during the attack. The leads that she was providing to investigators were ultimately dead ends. One person that remains
shocking.
firmly atop the suspect list is Isaac Melcher. Detectives go to Walmart to check the security footage.
I bet you it was
to
the
see if
chick.
Isaac was there at the time of the murder, as he had said. He was not found on any of the footage, nor did any transactions lead back to him. With Isaac's alibi in shambles, authorities have enough probable cause to search his home. On August 8th, when the police arrived with a search warrant in hand, they learned from Isaac's wife that he had conveniently left the state. Isaac's wife claims she did not know about his connection to Angel, and that she cannot confirm Isaac's whereabouts on the night of Milton's murder. She's very cooperative and says he took a trip to his home state of Oregon to visit his mother. With Isaac as a person of interest, they found it suspicious that he would go across the country in the middle of a homicide investigation. Despite Isaac's departure, authorities proceed with the search of his home and vehicle.
I mean, to be fair, it's not unusual for
They
someone to go
come
visit
up
their parents.
empty-handed. Things heat up when Angel alerts detectives that Isaac has contacted her. She was contacted by Isaac via Facebook. He was checking on her and wanted to see how she was doing, and she wanted to make detectives aware of that. However, Angel begins to exhibit some suspicious behavior. Detectives asked to see her cell phone, which she provided to them, and in looking through the Facebook Messenger thread, they saw a different thread from Isaac Dustin. The detectives knew at that point that Dustin was Isaac's middle name. In that message thread, Isaac addressed Angel as love and talked about having bought her something. According to the detectives, the thread was quite lovey-dovey. The detective hands the phone back to Angel and says, "Hey, can you tell me what this message is?" And she literally deletes the message right in front of him. This was a very brazen move. If she wasn't under suspicion before, she definitely is now. Investigators now wonder what other secrets Angel may be keeping.
What a dumb
After
cunt.
securing a warrant, detectives delve deeper into Angel's cell phone records for clues. But then, 10 days into the investigation, detectives receive a call that proves explosive. A man by the name of Louis Casimir was calling from Oregon. He said that he had information on the Milton Sawyer case. Louis said that he had just had a visit from Isaac Melcher. Louis has a long history with Isaac. He met Isaac while volunteering as a youth leader at church. Isaac was part of a group of teenage boys with behavioral issues. Isaac had a quick temper in high school and lacked a father figure. Louis attempted to fill that void and became a mentor for Isaac. He regarded Isaac as his success story and looked at him as if he was his own son. At 19, Isaac left Oregon for work in North Carolina, where he met his future wife, Darlene. When hearing the great news, Louis rounded up some of the youth group and they traveled to North Carolina to celebrate Isaac's wedding day. After Louis returned to Oregon, he fell out of touch with Isaac, but he and his wife Lori followed Isaac's progress on Facebook from afar. It was all good news. Isaac had 3 kids, put himself through college, and in 2016 became a physical therapist working out of the YMCA in Elizabeth City. A few days after Milton's murder, Isaac flew to Oregon to visit his sick mother, but he also decided to pay a visit to his youth pastor. Louis hadn't seen Isaac in more than 10 years and was excited to find out how he was doing. But when Isaac showed up,
In her normal life, deleting a message and gaslighting someone into thinking it didn't happen seems up her alley. She definitely was the type to, yo, dude, Tanner, if she's willing to fucking delete a message about having an affair right in front of a cop, bro, she's willing to do anything. Like, let's be honest about that, you know what I mean? If she's willing to delete a message about the affair to the lead murder suspect, like, she willing to do anything, dog. Like, if she's doing that in front of the police, just imagine what she's doing when they ain't looking, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, just to think of what she was doing when they wasn't looking. Like, that bitch, like, you can tell she's extremely narcissistic because one of the things this chick said was, like, I know my husband was super insecure because I'm one of the what were her exact words? I know my husband was insecure because I'm a highly attractive woman and people would come into our store only for me. Like, that right there, just like that just says everything about her personality that you need to know. That just says everything you need to know. You know? Kitties! Pretty good at that, eh? Pretty good at a little meow.
Something was wrong. Isaac's shoulders were slumped. Louis sat Isaac down in his backyard because Isaac said he wanted complete privacy for what he was about to reveal. Isaac told Louis that he considered him to be his pastor and that the conversation they were about to have was a confession, something that would stay between the two of them. Louis told him that he didn't agree with that, but Isaac continued anyway. Isaac said that he had made some really stupid choices and that he was probably going to lose his family. Louis asked him what was going on. Isaac said that a patient of his named Angel was in deep trouble. He said that her husband Milton was a jealous man, kept a tight rein on her, and threatened her. He was convinced that Milton was going to hurt Angel. Isaac had in his mind that Milton was abusing Angel. He said that he needed to protect Angel and be the hero. He wanted Milton out of the picture so Angel could be happier and safer. Isaac told Louis that he murdered Milton in his home. Isaac said that he put Milton in a chokehold and strangled him. Louis could not believe what he was hearing. Louis told him to turn himself in, but Isaac said he didn't plan on doing that. After about an hour, Isaac left and returned to North Carolina, leaving Louis to share the horrific story with his wife, Lori. Louis checked online to see if there really had been a murder in Elizabeth City, and as he confirmed the truth, the awfulness of the revelation...
Dude, this guy is a fucking W. This guy is an absolute Chad. This man right here is an absolute fucking Chad. Not only did he take young men under his wing and, like, tutor them to, like, potentially become the best version of themselves, he even ratted out his own son. Like, he says, the guy was like his own son, like a son to him, you know? He ratted out his own son, potential, in theory. Like, what a fucking G.
After multiple sleepless nights, 3 days after Isaac made his confession, Louis picked up the phone and called the Elizabeth City Sheriff's Office.
And you can tell that it's breaking his heart because multiple sleepless nights, you know what I'm saying? Multiple sleepless nights. It's not like something he just did right away. You can tell it's something he didn't want to do, but he had to. That's a real man
sharing
right
the
there.
Full story in person with detectives, they asked Louis to essentially wear a wire by making a call to Isaac that they would record. This was a hard decision for Louis, but he ultimately went through with it.
No way.
Investigators sitting beside him.
Dude, that must have been gut-wrenching for him.
Have the police been back? Have they done any more investigating?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely comfortable speaking about that over the phone.
Isaac Melcher was smarter than most average people. He did not want to talk on the regular phone line. He was concerned that it may be tapped. Isaac told Louis he would speak only on a secure phone line over the encrypted smartphone app called Signal. So Louis downloaded and called him using the app. Isaac then felt comfortable enough to talk.
It is secure. It cannot be accessed from the outside.
But if Isaac thought he outsmarted the police by speaking with Louis via an encrypted app, he was wrong. The North Carolina investigators simply placed their voice recorder next to Louis' phone that was on speaker and hit record.
Hey Louis, how are you doing?
Good, Isaac. How are you?
Louis and the investigators listening in were stunned when they heard another voice on the line. It was Isaac's wife, Darlene.
What?
Hi, Darlene. How are you doing?
What the fuck?
I'm well. We got to celebrate our son's birthday, so I'm very thankful.
With his wife on
What?
the line, surely Isaac
No way, bro.
wasn't going to confess to killing someone. As the conversation got going,
No
Louis
way.
steered Isaac into talking about the murder. Why, he asked, did an angel just divorce Milton?
The plan was for her to leave him. And something changed. She did not think that he would let her go, and that he would probably kill her if she tried to leave him.
So you killed
So
him.
it's the place where I asked the devil to help me.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I had to so fully turn my back on God to do this.
With Isaac's wife Darlene on the call, Louis poked about for what she knew.
Isaac called me the day that it happened to tell me that it had happened.
Now, when you say when it had happened,
I'm talking about the murder.
Isaac confirmed his involvement, adding that he didn't stand a chance with the authorities if he turned himself in.
Because there is premeditation. And I will either be life in prison.
Oh, buddy, you're getting your fucking ass resized to this like a Campbell soup tin, buds.
That doesn't even do it justice.
As the call continued, it was
Homie.
clear there was more to the story. Isaac's wife, Darlene, mentioned an affair.
The affair I did not know about at all until the night he told me about it. I've known Angel now for not quite a year, but it reached a place with Angel that it moved way, way, way beyond, just somebody that I was having sex with.
So Milton had been correct in his suspicions of Angel and Isaac's relationship. Then the story took another bizarre turn. With his wife Darlene on the call, Isaac revealed he and Angel had bigger plans.
If somehow I don't get arrested, there is still a desire in my heart.
What the fuck? Bro, these cocksuckers are crazy, bro. Yo, my PC's gonna fucking explode. He's saying this in front of his wife.
Angel. And amazingly enough, Darlene is still willing to walk through
Dude, what the fuck, man? Yo, this chick is crazy. This chick on the left, bro, that's the type of wife you guys need, yo. My god. Fuck you guys. You know what? No, you know what? Fuck you guys. That's the type of wife I need, bro. Is this PC still struggling? Oh, bro, the fucking fan. I need a new power supply. I need a new PSU. The fan in that bitch is missing a... You can tell it's missing a ball bearing. And... it's just rough.
with me. I forgive you, and I have compassion on you, and I am going to be with you as hard as it is.
you're a bigger lady than Laurie is, that's for sure.
The police came to question me while Isaac was out of town, and I just told them that I can't be compelled to testify about anything that was shared to me in confidence with my spouse.
As the phone
That's
call
not what she said at
continued,
all.
The evidence only seemed to grow. According to Isaac, Angel knew much more than she was saying.
The only reason that she had to not say anything is because there's a good chance that she would be implicated and arrested and go to jail also for conspiracy to commit murder.
He mentions that she knew what was going to happen. She knew that he was the killer. What's more, Isaac said he and Angel were still in touch.
Has Angel been questioned at all?
If it's overheating, you might want to apply new thermal paste. It's not overheating. It's literally the fan. If I took off my noise suppression, you would hear... And the last time I heard that sound coming out of my PC, I had to get a fan changed. So I just know it's the fan in the PSU.
But he said that she was playing dumb to
Like,
investigators.
can you guys hear that grinding sound in the background? That's the fan. Can you hear that? Maybe not, but... Bro, this fucking PC. It's a hunk of shit.
With the phone conversation winding down,
Alright, Louie, have a good night. Good night.
detectives had enough to get an arrest warrant for Isaac. Back in Elizabeth City, 3 weeks after Milton Sawyer was murdered, Isaac is arrested.
You're going to be charged today with conspiracy to commit murder and murder.
With everything they were hearing from Isaac, the investigators wanted to speak with Angel again. When asked, Angel came down to the station believing she was there regarding some of the jewelry stolen during the attack.
Originally, I want to have some jewelry and stuff I wanted to show you today. And in a turn of events this morning, Isaac has been under arrest. He's come in this morning.
Good.
Well, he's said a lot of stuff about you.
About me? What?
Well, that's what we need to talk about. He told us stuff about the affair. Be truthful about the relationship. There's more. Y'all did more to talk. It was sexual, correct?
There were 2 times.
There were 2 times. Okay.
Yes.
Where did that happen?
At the clinic and behind COA. It was actually 3 times. There was a parking spot on the highway.
She's recalling the
She
dick
said
meter.
multiple times that Isaac was obsessed with her. She insisted she was always going to stay with Milton.
I said because
She's recalling the dick meter. Oh, there was one time behind the parking lot here. Oh, maybe behind the school here. Oh, my husband wasn't home this one time, so we fucked in the
what if
garage.
you were dead? I would be willing to do that for you. And I said, I don't want you to do that.
But my point is, I think you know what happened. You were there. You know what happened. It was a plan. He's already told us it's a plan. You know he did it. There's nothing you can say to me that's gonna make me believe anything else.
Angel pushed back.
Ooh, I'm gonna level up
claiming
this
she had no
round.
idea
Let's go,
that
chat.
the assailant
Level
dressed head to toe
96
black was
firemaking.
When
Whoop,
he
whoop.
came in, it did not click with me, honestly, who it was, because it happened so fast until he was on top of Milton, and I was begging him to please stop, and I said, I will never be with you. I will never be with you. You're terrifying me. I hate you.
That's all he's saying. But he's saying, and I'm telling you, he's saying it's all pre-planned between the two of you.
Angel acknowledges
Yeah,
discussing
chat, there was this
Isaac
one time-
murdering her husband, but she said that she never thought it was going to actually happen. If it was not all pre-planned,
Bro, I just gotta keep
then
smacking my
why didn't
PC. They
Angel
got that
call the
fan,
police
like-
to report Isaac Melcher once
Oh
she
my God.
realized it was him. And why, they asked, did she make up a
Get my
story
PC
about
like
home
that, or at
invasion?
least take apart the fucking
You don't stick to the
PSU.
story, you're broken in,
Oh, I can
I'll find you, I'll
fucking-
kill you.
Why
oh my god.
did you steer us away from him? Why did you claim to have seen
Because he
jewelry that
said
you
he
knew
was
was
gonna
yours?
kill me and my kids if I didn't.
But what was I saying? There was this one time I was dating my ex-girlfriend, like my baby mom's, and
You lied to us from the beginning.
like I have this pool, right? Like I live in a
So
condo.
why should we
I live in a
believe you?
condominium, so there's like
Who's told us at
the
least
houses are in like a
two
big
sets
U
of
shape,
lies?
right? So there's a
I don't
house,
know.
row of houses, another set of houses.
Sorry.
And then we got our backyard, and then there's the fence that like encapsulates our
But it was
backyard,
too
and then
late
there's
to
another
bargain.
fence separating
Unfortunately,
our yard from our neighbor's yard. Well, there was this one time we were like fucking 16 years old, and I was being a little rebel bastard. We went swimming over at my
Angel
pool.
and Isaac were now both
Oh,
under
no.
arrest.
This isn't
both
good.
charged
Went
with
swimming
first
over at
degree
my
murder.
pool,
Angel
and then
Isaac
she-
were now in jail.
her, the little horny bastard she was,
Isaac
she's
had
like, "Oh my
fully
god, let's go
implicated
fuck." So
himself
we
in
took her.
calls
Oh,
with
where did
Louis
we go?
meant that his
We went
conviction
up behind
was
like.
inevitable.
Oh my
But
god,
in
bro,
Angel's
there's no way.
case, what Isaac had said
We went
about her
up behind
was
the
calls with Louis.
fucking like where the fence was in the pool, bro, and we sat there for half an hour fucking, and then our neighbor caught us. Classic. Our neighbor caught us. She's just on top of me, and I'm just going to town, you know. Fucking classic, bro. My neighbor's like, "What the fuck are you kids doing, bro?" I'm just like, "Ah." Good old days, man. Bro, this fucking PC is gonna get a boot. Oh, you have a kid? Yes, sir.
Could likely not be used against her in court, and Isaac, still obsessed with Angel, wanted to shield her from prosecution. As it happened, Isaac and Angel were able to continue their relationship in jail. Breaking jail rules, using a third party to merge their calls, they were able to talk, conversations that were recorded.
Okay, can you write down John 15, verses 12 and 13?
John 15, 12, and 13.
The scripture says, "Love each other as
Here's-
I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." In essence, Angel was saying, if you truly love me,
Yeah,
you're going
me
to lay
never
your life
entered your
down
mind
for
though.
me."
That's funny.
And while Isaac seemed to still be a guy in
Sometimes it's
love,
just better
it
when it's
wasn't
in a
the
risky
same
spot,
for
you know?
Angel.
I don't know how to
Very
describe
sorry
it.
for everything that's happened.
Sense of thrill, you know?
Angel, are you there? What the?
How old is she? She
The
just
caller has
turned
hung up.
8
Who knows
and
if the sudden end of their call
she turned 8 March 4th.
What the?
one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. In essence, Angel was saying, if you truly love me, you're going to lay your life down for me. And while Isaac seemed to still be a guy in love, it wasn't the same for Angel.
I'm very sorry for everything that's happened. Angel, are you there? What the?
The caller has hung up.
Who knows if the sudden end of their call was the moment their relationship fell apart. But as Angel's case headed to trial, Isaac had a change of heart. He decided to testify against her. In September 2021, 3 years after Milton Sawyer was found strangled in his home, his wife Angel went on trial, charged with his first-degree murder. The prosecutor presented a case of master manipulation. They argued that Angel had manipulated Isaac into murdering
Bro,
her
this
husband.
chick, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like she'd suck your dick right off, bro. Look at those lips.
That she had planned the killing, participated in it, and tried to cover it up. It was Isaac Melcher's turn to testify.
You just want to be the good guy. You want to be the person that protects.
Although there were no cameras in the courtroom, this is a video of Isaac telling investigators the same basic story he would tell the jury. The prosecutor said Angel's manipulation of Isaac started during the physical therapy sessions as she played the victim of spousal abuse.
She would talk about how when they would argue, it would just be very abusive.
Isaac testified that as their friendship grew, they began flirting, and Angel made suggestive sexual comments.
She would talk about very personal things, such as I lay next to him, naked all night long, and he doesn't even look at me.
The prosecutor said that Angel made her move in December of 2017.
She brought up again, I'm out in the hot tub naked, and that turned into her sending me a picture.
Isaac said Angel shocked him in a physical therapy session when he asked for her to change into a robe and he stepped out of the room.
And I came back in and she was pretty much almost naked. My ability to
stuff.
Was gone.
Yeah, she could suck a fucking bowling ball through a straw.
Yeah.
There was sex. Lots of it, he testified. Not the 2 times Angel had fessed up to.
Oh yeah, these people were fucking at least 12 times a week, you know what I mean?
Isaac said they had talked about being together.
One day,
These two were fucking at least 12 times a week. Like, he would nut and he would just keep going.
And said, I can't leave because if I do...
This guy is mad fucking crazy over this chick, you can just tell. My kind of girl? Yo, Sean, you know.
That became the starting point of a murder plot, he testified. He became convinced that Milton was not going to let Angel leave.
Smash and pissers, exactly, bro.
Track her down and either bring her back or kill us both.
He told the court the first idea before the home invasion was to kill Milton with drugs. That was Isaac's plan. However, he said that Angel really preferred the idea of doing a staged home invasion. On the night of the murder, Isaac drove to a church at the back of Milton's home, went through a wooded area, and across the backyard. He said he put on his mask.
Bro, there ain't no way I'd
door
ever
key
kill for
Angel
some
had
pussy.
told him was there
Literally
and
kill
went
for some
inside.
pussy. Like,
Then he described the moment
like that.
with Milton.
Slit my arm around his neck and attempted to put him into a rear naked chokehold. He didn't have a pulse. So I kind of slumped over to the side, pulled my mask off.
Angel was right there in the bathroom, he said. Angel's head wound was just a part of the staged home invasion.
She wanted me to hit her to make it look like more realistic, I guess. So the first time was not enough. And she knelt down and basically smacked her forehead against the corner of one of the drawers that we had pulled out.
Isaac's testimony ends and the prosecution rests their case. Now it's Angel's turn. She chose not to testify, but her trial strategy was to discredit Isaac Melcher as an unreliable witness who testified against her only to get a lesser sentence. After
Yeah,
the
I
defense rested, it was now up to the jury. They reached a unanimous verdict within 20 minutes. The
20
jury
minutes?
found Angel guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and
Bro.
first-degree murder. She is sentenced to life without parole. Isaac pled guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for a 25-year sentence and his testimony against Angel. His wife Darlene, who had supported him on the phone call with Louis, divorced him. Angel maintains her innocence and has appealed her conviction. Prosecutors
Maintains her
believe the
innocence? Are you
motive behind
fucking
the
kidding
crime
me,
was
bro?
Angel's desire to leave Milton. She wanted out, but she did not want to be seen as a twice divorcee. She made that statement multiple times during her interviews with detectives. In the aftermath, one of Milton's children, Caleb, tries to move forward in his life. He becomes an engineer in the state of North Carolina.
Good for
He
him.
takes solace in the video memories captured by his mom of the early days of happiness. In the months that followed, Pastor Louis made contact with Isaac. Isaac told Louis that he agreed with his decision to share his confession with the police. The
Good.
two remain in contact. For more videos
That's
of
sick.
cases never before seen on
People
YouTube,
are so dumb.
click one of the
I
videos
fucking
on the
have so
screen.
much respect for that guy that called the police, man. Usually I'm like a no snitch kind of fucking guy, right? But that guy right there, that's like, that's some real shit, bro. Mad respect for that guy. Like, that guy dying is just so fucking unnecessary, it's crazy, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that chick is the one that, no, like, that chick that, like, manipulated those two guys, she should have been the one fucking dying. That's just crazy.
Brady had this business. It was the day before the.
Oh. Sure. Bro, their forensics nowadays are crazy because they can track you through other people's DNA. You know what I mean? They can track you through your relatives' DNA. So if you're not in the system now, and you know, let's say your fucking great grandpa was, they can get you through your great fucking grandpa, bro.
Our story begins in the small coastal town of Bluffton, South Carolina. Just before 1 a.m. on October 28th, 2015,
Cameras literally
two
everywhere.
calls
Bro,
came into.
they have cameras now that are so good they can fucking zoom into the blades of grass from space. You know what I'm saying? They have cameras so good they can zoom into fucking the blades of grass from space. Like, you can't commit a crime nowadays, dog. You're just fucked. The only crimes that are being committed, really, and you're getting away with it, are ones on the computer. And even then, you still gotta be like a fucking genius to be able to pull off, because everything can lead back to you. Imagine it. Yeah, there's like some the person in control of the person in control of the satellites just zooming into chicks' houses and shit late at night, just like being a perv.
Where's your emergency?
This is 39 Pinecrest Way.
Is that 39
My balls.
Pinecrest Way?
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
What's going on there?
I don't know. There's been a shooting. I'm not outside.
What's going on?
Oh,
I
man,
can't
my
understand
balls.
you. What's going on there?
There's been a shooting.
Who's shooting?
Someone's been shot.
The male?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like so
Where
you can
did
tell
he
this is
shot
like
at?
some old black guy that just like doesn't even know what's going on.
Hello?
I don't know where
Oh my god.
Okay, I do have someone.
You
en
just
route.
tell from
Okay.
his voice.
Are the suspects there?
Yes.
911, major emergency.
My friend's been shot and killed.
Hello?
Hi, my friend's been shot and killed.
I can't hear you, sir. Could you say that again?
My friend's been shot and killed.
How many times are you
Okay,
gonna make this man say it? Oh my god.
Pinecrest 39.
39 Pinecrest, and it
He
just
just wants to go back to the thing.
Okay, and he's there now?
Yeah, Tanner, that's hilarious.
Me and his roommate.
Okay, and you said he was shot?
Yeah, we're sitting outside and got shot in front of me.
Okay, and that was 39 Pinecrest, correct?
Yes.
And is he bleeding?
He got shot in the head. He's dead.
Okay. I'm getting him en route to you, okay?
Yeah.
Is the suspect still there?
I don't know. We were outside and someone shot. We didn't hear anybody. Or we didn't see anybody.
Okay. Where's your friend at now?
He's sitting outside. I ran inside.
Okay. Okay, sorry. So you said you was outside. You didn't see any suspects or anything?
No, we're sitting out back.
Okay. Did you see any vehicles or anything that come around?
No, they came from outside of the driving range.
Okay. Law enforcement is en route to you, okay?
Oh,
And it
dude,
was
dude,
just you
bro,
or
that comment
you
is
there at
fucking
the residence?
hilarious. Honestly,
No,
that
his
is so
roommate
funny.
was home in bed.
So how much total are there at the residence?
3.
Okay. And no
His
one
son's
saw
like the
anyone?
bed.
No, we were sitting out there and it was dark out back because the driving range is out back.
Okay.
We heard a gun talk and then 2 shots were fired. John, you alright? He's making sound.
Okay, so you say he's making sounds now?
Oh, God.
Hello, sir? Hello?
That poor,
Cops are here.
Okay. You can go ahead and speak with them, okay, sir?
that poor
Alright.
fucking kid, man.
Okay,
You're never
bye-bye.
gonna forget that shit.
Responding to the calls,
He's like,
police
he's still
arrive
moving.
at a home in
Oh,
the
man,
upscale
that's
community
terrible.
of Pinecrest.
That's just his nerves
Officers
twitching
make their
around. He's
way
fucking
toward the
dead.
front door with their weapons drawn. As they approach, 2 men exit. The men inform the officers that they were the ones who called
Smart people just
911.
wouldn't do it.
The
No,
officers
it's not
searched
true
them
at all,
for
bro.
weapons, ultimately
It's not true at
finding
all.
none.
Have you ever heard of Ed Kemper? The reason Ed Kemper got caught is because he literally handed himself into the police.
The 2 men
True
were
at all.
told to wait in the front yard as the officers
Well, all the time it's just pure
continued into the
coincidence.
residence.
Think of all the
After
murders that you
clearing
just
the
don't hear
house,
about,
the
right?
officers make
like
their way to the back patio, which
like
is where they find the male
the people, all the
slumped
cold
over
cases and
with his
shit, like all the
head
killers that never get
resting
caught.
on his shoulder.
We just know the
victim's phone
high
was
profile ones
still in
that
his
get
hand,
caught.
and
Think
a
of all the ones
large
that don't
amount
get
of
caught.
blood had pooled
Right?
onto his lap. The officers continued
Like
clearing
there
the
are like
backyard
there are killers
along the
that like are
side.
like Ed Kemper and shit, bro. They'll never get caught because they just have it down to like a science. You know what I mean? Like he was like an extremely organized killer and shit. You know, people like Ted Bundy that just act out of like sexual spite and shit like that or spur of the moment. Those are the ones that will get caught most of the time. Not saying that like the smart ones don't get caught. Like eventually, that like most of them get caught. I wouldn't say most of them, but like a lot of them do get caught, right? They leveled murder than they didn't put any levels into social skills. They just put it
Of the
all into
residence. After clearing the entire property, the officers
murder
informed paramedics that the scene was
and lack of
secure.
psychology.
The paramedics made their way to the back patio and declared the man deceased as he was beyond any life-saving measures.
Oh, yeah.
After the man was declared dead, the officers called for detectives and the county coroner. The residence, 39 Pinecrest Way, is located north of the Pinecrest Community Golf Course, specifically the driving range. The home is in close proximity to other neighboring homes. Investigators arrive at the scene and make their way to the backyard. Under closer inspection of the victim, there was an obvious gunshot wound to the right side of his head. Blood spatter was found against the wall of the house and on one of the witnesses who claimed to be outside when the victim was shot. The entrance wound was consistent with the shooter being in the backyard. As they searched in the direction where they believe the shots came from, they located 2 shotgun shells in the grass. This indicated the position.
Bro, if they're using a shotgun, those kids are lucky they all didn't die.
Of the shooter when the shots were fired.
That's
Detectives
crazy.
positioned themselves where the shell casings were discovered and looked in the direction
Come on,
of
fucking
the victim. This
kill
vantage
the
point
boss.
matched up with the small holes
Yeah.
that impacted the
Yeah.
side of the adjacent home behind the victim. A shoe impression was located
Give me the
near
pet.
the 2 shell casings. With some understanding of what had occurred, detectives called for crime scene technicians. In speaking with the 2 witnesses, detectives confirmed the victim's identity as 33-year-old Jonathan Sherall. One of the witnesses, Joe Ruby, who was with Jonathan when he was shot, said that they were sitting and talking to each other on the back patio. Then, all of a sudden, they heard the sound of a shotgun racking. The 2 looked around and then back at each other. Joe then heard a loud boom, at which point he saw Jonathan's head snap back.
Oh,
Joe was
fuck,
upset,
dude.
crying,
I
and
would
demanding
never
that the
forget that
detectives
shit. That would
find the
keep you up
person
at
who
night.
did this right away. The other
Bro, that would fucking literally, you would never forget that shit. You'd be like 80 years old waking up fucking hearing that shotgun booming, bro. I swear to God. Especially if that's your homie, bro. Like,
Jonathan's roommate, Robert Fox,
Dude,
was
that's
sleeping
fucking
in a bedroom at the
insane.
back of the house.
I couldn't
not
even fathom that. You know what I mean? That's fucking insane.
far from where the shots were fired. Roberts was the one who made the first and rather short 911 call. A gunshot residue test was performed on the two
There's
men.
your gunshot
While they
residue
await
test.
the results, both men
Your
are
cum
brought down
shot
to the
test.
station for an interview and to provide a written statement. The officers that remained at the
fucking
scene gathered
crazy.
statements from neighbors. One neighbor said that shortly after the shots were
Holy
fired,
fuck.
he saw a man walk through his backyard toward the wooded area that led to Master's Way. He said that the man was walking with his shoulders held high and appeared to not be in a hurry. The witness saw the man walk in the direction of what appeared to be illuminated brake lights of a car stopped on Master's Way. He then heard the sound of a car peeling off. With the neighbor's statement in mind, detectives canvassed the neighborhood in search of any surveillance cameras. About 2 houses down, they locate a camera pointing toward Jonathan's house.
That's why the
While
80s were like the
officers
time of
obtain
the killers,
footage,
like all the serial
investigators
killers
are
and shit, you know?
contacted by
'Cause
dispatch
fucking there's no
regarding a
cameras around
call
at that
from
time.
Jonathan Sherrall's father.
Beaver County Communications, Sam speaking.
Yes, good morning. My name is John Sherrall, Cherol. And at 1 o'clock this morning, I received a phone call that my son had been shot in Bluffton. Can anybody confirm that? We've heard nothing from anyone.
Okay. What? Do you know your son's address?
His address would be 39 Pinecrest Road, I think, in Bluffton.
And what's your son's name?
Jonathan. Johnathan.
Okay. And is his last name?
Cherol.
Okay, sir. I will have an officer give you a phone call, and they'll be able to give you any sort of information that you might need, okay? Keep your line available. Someone will call you from a blocked or restricted number. You're welcome.
That poor man.
Bye-bye.
Detectives reach out to John's parents and confirm the horrifying rumors. John's parents were devastated by the news. John's friend and former roommate, Drew Franklin, said that he received a call from John's father. Drew recalled putting his head in his hands and feeling, quote, completely lost. Drew remembers hearing John's parents' voices and how they were not the same jovial and happy as he was used to.
Yo, bro,
Dave
Tanner,
went
there's this one I was watching earlier, and this mom found out like her daughter had been like raped and murdered. She let out this scream, bro. And dude, it literally just made the hands on my fucking arm stand up. It was just so like
Viewers,
devastating.
do you carry a big and bulky wallet? Well, it's time to ditch that relic.
Bro,
Today's
this guy's
video is
putting ads on fucking murder docs, bro. Get the fuck out of here with this shit, you fucking scumbag loser. What the fuck did I just see?
At checkout for up to 25% off. Treat yourself to the best wallet out there. Extra wallets also make
This guy can
great
make
gifts.
so much money
And don't
from
worry,
fucking just
I will
YouTube
remind
ad
you about
revenue
Extra
alone.
at the end
Just
of the
putting
video
ads on
so
this
you can
shit.
keep watching. Back at the station, investigators speak with Joe Ruby. Before the interview began, Joe's clothing and shoes were collected as evidence. Joe said that John had invited him over, so he stopped by after his shift
Bro, on
ended.
God, watching this shit just makes me never want to trust anyone. You know what I mean? Seriously.
At 11 p.m. Shortly after arriving, John shared a bizarre story with him and Roberts.
John was telling you about, tell me again what you said about this car that showed up at his house.
He told me a story when I got there because he said something really weird happened, something like that. He said, I can't remember if he said he heard a knock or a doorbell rang. He looked through the people and saw a girl there. So he opened the door and she said she had car trouble or something, so she pulled into his driveway. I thought that didn't really make too much sense. So he closed the door, put some clothes on, and went out and looked at her car. He said everything was fine. And he said she like tried to make out with him or something. She has to come inside, so he told her to leave. She got in her car and left.
Did he describe the girl to you at all?
Cleaning them out of water bottles. I ain't touching nothing, bro, because they fucking use that water bottle for your DNA and shit. I ain't touching nothing.
As far as
Only time they get my DNA is if I'm spitting in their fucking eye.
slide racking.
Yeah, slide. Sound like a slide.
Okay. And would you say it's like a pistol or a shotgun or?
I don't think it was like a shotgun. Probably more like a pistol. Kind of low though, so.
So, let's say.
It didn't sound like a small 9mm. It was bigger.
Okay. Alright, let's say this is a house real quick, and you got one couch, and then this is the back door right here. You got one couch here, you got a couch here. Where are you sitting?
That's the door.
This is the back door, and this is the house.
So, I was sitting on the end of the couch.
And where was, John?
Pretty sure he's kind of sitting in the middle of the couch with his coffee table in front. Right in between the two couches.
And you're sitting there, you are talking, and when you hear the gun rack, the slide rack, about what direction is it going to go?
We kind of both looked over in this direction, towards the golf course on the right. To the right.
Alright. So you hear the slide rack, you look around, about how long are you looking around?
What the fuck?
Well, we both immediately looked up at each other, gave each other a look like, what was that? Sounds like a gun.
Anyone know what this means? Anyone know why my controller is just randomly flashing?
So, how many shots did you hear?
Pretty sure it was 2 shots. I was looking at John and then him.
Can anyone... What the fuck is that?
Well, I still couldn't believe it was gunshots.
What does this mean?
So,
Is there a ghost playing my PlayStation right now?
I could keep shooting, so
Is it Morse code?
Went over to the door and went inside. I was kind of yelling and was yelling for Roberts.
What were you yelling at?
So I was just yelling like, holy shit, and...
I was fucking spooky, bro. Out of the corner of my eye.
Yelling for Roberts.
Updating? What the fuck? My controller updating? What do you mean?
Where's Roberts' room?
You open the door and it's right there.
So you're banging on his door. Did he open the door?
Yeah, pretty much right away because I think he heard the shots and he was getting up.
I don't know about that one.
He said he already called 911. Like, went up to the front where John's room was, because I didn't know if anybody was coming.
So you went into John's room?
I don't know about that one.
What did you do when you got in there?
I just went in the closet and called 911. I was kind of hiding, because I already saw his head, so I know I couldn't do anything.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
Keep shooting.
There's like yeah, did you hear all you hear is a shotgun rack, and then all you just fucking buddy's brains just all over your fucking shirt and shit. You're just like something like right out of the movies, you know, like right out of Goodfellas or something. Right out of Goodfellas when they're just sitting there eating it at the diner and just fucking bang. Or not Goodfellas, The Sopranos.
We weren't. We didn't smoke it.
Either one, probably, honestly.
I guess so.
I have a reason why I'm asking this, okay? It's not to get you in trouble. I gotta put together different possibilities of what happened, okay? So we can make sure we figure this out. When you do smoke with him, do you normally provide the weed, or is he the one that has it, or does he have it? Yeah. You know where he gets it from?
I don't know.
I don't have any idea at all. Is there any general location where he goes to buy, or anything?
I have no idea. I think the only name I've heard before is some guy Shack or something.
When asked who he believed may have done this, Joe informed detectives about a legal battle John was in regarding a joint business venture combining his restaurant with another. This joint venture was with a woman named Christy. The newly formed combined business went awry as each party accused the other of embezzling money.
John recently said, I know that he had been in a bad place.
Bro, what the fuck is going on with this controller?
I'm not sure what else is going on.
Bro, my controller is working. Look at, I can play my video game. Yo, I can use this as like my mouse pad for
Since that
RuneScape.
happened, I talked to him today that since then he's been a lot better. He started buying and selling comic books and he's really excited about it. So he's been
That's
a lot
funny.
happier lately.
Was there anybody that he's had problems with recently?
No, as far as just the sipping Calvin.
And what was the... Like, I know that there was
It's like a legal battle
between him and
Roberts and the owners of Sipping Cow.
You know what their names are?
I think there's just one of Christie.
What's the nature of the legal battle?
I'm not sure. I think it's over like control the company, and then there's suits back and forth. Like Because I guess she was stealing from the restaurant.
Stealing from,
Like, I guess
peppers or? Oh,
they all merged together, I guess.
yeah.
I guess she wasn't depositing catering checks, and she wasn't, she like switched credit cards to her bank account, and she was paying people on the table.
As the interview wound down, Joe told investigators that John was not currently in a
Polymex as an
relationship
investment
and
is probably the
provided
worst
a list of
investment. Yeah.
names of
Anything
who he
like that.
believed to be
Fucking
John's
baseball
closest
cards,
friends.
any of that bullshit.
Based on Joe and Robert's matching statements and their negative gunshot residue test results,
Video games.
they are eliminated as suspects. The following day, surveillance footage from John's neighborhood comes in. The footage was pulled from cameras that cover all of the neighborhood's entrances and exits. An additional camera at the community pool area captured the roadway and was directly across from John's house. John's front yard is just out of camera view. On the right side of the frame, a portion of John's mailbox is visible. At around 15 minutes before the shooting, a dark-colored
Kinkachi, what's
sedan
up? How was
can
the
be
turtle
seen
tonight,
driving
buddy?
past John's house. The vehicle then continued onto Master's Way as it exited the camera view. Police checked the footage from other cameras around the neighborhood. They followed the car as it completed a full circle of the neighborhood, ending back near John's house. The vehicle stopped before the intersection of Pinecrest Way and Masters Way for about 23 seconds. There was seemingly no reason to stop, as there wasn't any traffic. The vehicle made the same left turn onto Masters Way. The vehicle...
Whoever's in the car is like, do I do this? Do I do it? Do I do it? Fuck it, let's go.
went out of camera view at approximately the same time the 911 calls were made. After viewing all of the footage from around the time of the murder, investigators scrubbed through the footage from before Joe arrived at the house. They were trying to confirm John's story of the
How
mystery
useful is
woman
member?
with car trouble.
Member is game
At
changer.
10:52
Definitely
p.m.,
worth.
a vehicle can be seen pulling
Honestly,
into
if you
John's
buy member
driveway.
for like a week or
Detectives
a month or
immediately
whatever,
noticed that
you'll
the
be able to make
vehicle
enough
was
money
similar
where
to the one
to the
circling
point
the
where you don't
neighborhood
need to
at the time of the
buy it
murder.
again. You know
As
what I
they
mean?
continued watching the footage, detectives spotted the motion of a dog running into the street from John's front yard. John can be seen going after the dog. Detectives then see a female who they described as slender with what appeared to be blonde hair. The unidentified woman went after the dog, picked it up, and carried it
I
back
think it's
to
a little bit
John.
more than $3.
To detectives, the interaction
Yeah, I think
looks
it's
less
14 a
like a
month.
chance
I think it's
encounter
14 a
and
month.
more like the two knew each other.
And it's $14,
Investigators
but for
continue
example, $14, and I've done Wintertodt or whatever the fuck it's called, and I already made 8 mil. You know what I mean? I've already made 8 mil, and that's fuck all. And then Brimstone chests, I've made already a mil off of that. Like 1.5 mil off of worms. Like, yeah. Unless you meant membership for the channel, then like you got emotes. If you get membership for the channel, bro, then it's just emotes like this. And like whenever I play Call of Duty Zombies again, I'll probably be in open lobby and play with some people. You get cool emotes like that you can use on the stream, you know?
watching the footage, hoping the mystery woman would reappear. About
Come on,
50
give me
minutes
the pet.
later, the woman's vehicle goes into reverse and backs out of the driveway.
Fuck, man.
Detectives watch as the vehicle leaves the neighborhood. After
That was a good
following the
job.
suspect vehicle through various cameras, detectives were able to get a read on the license plate. The plate read KSW 931, which came back to a 2007 Toyota Camry belonging to Colette Collins of Buck Point Road, Bluffton, South Carolina. When the DMV photo came up, they knew the mystery woman in John's front yard was Colette Collins. While watching the footage of the vehicle, a keenly eyed detective noticed an abnormality among the wheels. The front passenger side wheel had a different amount of spokes than every other wheel. It had 7 spokes while the others had 6.
Wow, what a catch.
This was a very substantial development because it differentiated the vehicle from other Camrys. As detectives finished looking at the surveillance footage, John Sherrall's phone records came back. John was texting at the time he was murdered. He was responding to a text that read, "Shoot his ass, I don't give a anymore." John's response had not yet been sent and read, "Why, what happened?" The number belonged to a man named Joshua. Josh agreed to come to the police department and speak with investigators.
First, I want you to tell me about John.
What happened
While
here?
watching the footage of the vehicle, a keenly-eyed detective noticed an abnormality among the wheels. The front passenger side wheel had a different amount of spokes than every other wheel. It had 7 spokes while the others had 6. This was a very substantial development because it differentiated the vehicle from other Camrys. As detectives finished looking at the surveillance footage, John Sherrall's phone records came back. John was texting at the time he was murdered. He was responding to a text that read, "Shoot his ass, I don't give a anymore." John's response had not yet been sent and read, "Why, what happened?" The number belonged to a man named Joshua. Josh agreed to come to the police department and speak with investigators.
First, I want you to tell me about John. How do you know him? What relationship do you have with him?
I don't know, probably 10 years ago, drinking at the bars. Really into comics. Like that day we were there, he was.
Speaking of comics.
He's got a shit ton. He's probably got, I want to say, 20 grand in comic books. You know, I told him we'll open up something on eBay. So your bar business fails, so the fuck what? Get over it, grow up. Start a comic book store. You know, you can't just let that one thing bring you down.
When were you with him on the day he died?
Picked him up, went and to the store. We got cigarettes.
You went to the bank first, you went to the store?
The bank first. He got out, got money, went back to the store, got cigarettes. Long story short, went back to his house.
How long were you at the house before you left? You went back to the house, and what did you do again?
Well, I ate some turkey, looked at his comic books, looked up the comic books, watched Guardians of the Galaxy, played Halo 5.
So you were there for a while?
Yeah, I was there for a while.
Yo, if this Tokes at all, nah. I got nothing. Hurting.
And I was supposed to go back. And I said, I got to get back to my girl and my kid. The girl needs a car to go grocery shopping, blah, blah, blah.
What time did you leave his house that day?
I'm trying to remember. I want to say 5 to 7.
What kind of car did you drive?
I got a Durango. Our other buddy
Reopen is always fun, but
said, John told
except for the part where it
here.
costs you.
I got to go. I'll call you back. And supposedly at 12:43 or 12:45, the cops were called.
After leaving the house that day, did you ever talk to John again on the phone or anything like that?
I don't think I did talk. He didn't sound worried about anything. As a matter of fact, he sounded absolutely like the old John that I used to know.
When you left?
Yeah, when I left. Yo, Vox was there, Roberts was there.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing out of the ordinary. He was pissed at the Sydney Cal lady.
Is this something that just started the last?
It started when the lady from the Sydney Cal pulled out. Like, I don't know really what went on. And the day that I was over there, I was talking to Roberts and him. I'm like, you're supposed to be such a badass lawyer, and he's supposed to be so smart. How did this girl come in and nobody covered their ass and everything just fall apart?
Right.
And then when the Christie girl pulled out, that's when the Xanax started hitting really bad. He was prescribed Xanax before that.
How much was he spending?
I couldn't tell you that. I know that.
Do you know who he's getting it from?
I have no idea, but that's why I want to know who killed him. I honestly think he got in over his head with somebody.
As far as drugs, business?
I think money-wise.
Has he ever told you who he was in over his head with?
No. He's mentioned that he couldn't talk. He's like, I can't tell you what I did. I was like, well, I can't help you unless you tell me. John did. He did a lot.
Well, tell us, like...
Did a lot. As in?
He did a lot of Xanax.
You mentioned turf war. Turf war usually occurs when two dealers are fighting over the same area. So what do you mean by that?
Pretty much one person's come in and everybody else. So that one person is everybody else, which is pissing off every other dealer because they can't compete with prices. I have a feeling that John got in with it's probably the boys on Go, somebody like that. He didn't set up. He told somebody where another dealer was that had a lot of shit. That guy, shit happened with him. You know, I can't tell you what I hear say.
You can tell us what you hear say. Is it usable? No, but it gives us a lead.
You want to know about your friend, right?
Yeah, I would like to know.
You want to find out who killed him?
Did he get hit with a shotgun? Is that true?
Possibly.
Did it happen in the front or in the back of his house?
It happened in the back. So they walked up.
What should you be prioritizing?
You guys ever hear of anything that happens down there?
Do some quests.
Point Road or
Do some quests, man. Go level up some skills. Have fun.
Let us know. What happened on both?
Be prioritizing quests and getting armor and just getting like your first mill. You know what I mean?
Supposedly the story was that John gave some guys some information about somebody that lived down there. Some of those guys tried to hit somebody.
Should be trying to get your first millie.
And I heard shots were fired. I heard shots weren't fired. Or they tried to break into his house.
Watch some YouTube videos as well, Zach. Definitely check out some YouTube videos for free to play.
And if those guys tried to take
But the most important thing you gotta do is have fun. There's gonna be all these guys telling you like, oh, go do this for optimal XP, blah 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 blah. Fuck all that shit, bro. Just have fun with the game. There's so many different mechanics.
And they basically drove the guy, from what I was told, insane by running around.
So it gives me a mill. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm friends with him. Yes, I know him. Our kids, you know.
I'm trying to get 99 firemaking. I'm at 96 right now.
Well, I heard that he thought he saw something. Somebody fired something. He fired back. John told me whoever the boys were it was personal. Now they really killed him because he almost shot him. Heard a door was kicked open, shots were fired. He said they fired. He fired 3 or 4 back. No,
that fired back.
That's what I heard. That's what I'm saying now.
And he's got kids in his house?
No, he sent his family away.
Okay.
This is why I was saying, did this really happen? Because how the hell is all these gunshots going off and nobody's calling the cops? I'm thinking, okay, but you just snorted one too many lines. Haven't gone to bed, and because he had me walking his property. He was honestly afraid somebody was trying to kill him.
Let me ask you something about Seth. How well do you know Seth?
For a year, maybe.
Okay.
But he's not somebody that I've known like John. So.
Seth own any guns?
He sent his spam away. Yeah.
He borrowed a pistol.
This is some Sopranos type shit.
I don't know if he had a rifle on that night.
Is he a hunter? Does he have any shotguns? Does he?
I honestly
Go away, honey. There's gonna be a war.
I'm pretty sure he's got 40 cal. I don't think he does own a shotgun. Anyways, he had told me all that was going on. At the same time, he's telling me that he thinks it's John. That's, John knows something.
So Seth is telling you that
he thinks John knows something.
About what?
About the guys coming over. Because
Okay.
John was at his house, and he said he was being really weird. He was walking around sweating. I was like, dude, I gotta go. Like, he knew.
So John was at the house before he got hit?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So John disappears, next thing you know, his house gets hit.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together and say, probably had some kind of involvement.
Seth called me. Seth wasn't pissed at him. Seth was like, I just want to know who came to my house. Tell John I don't care about him. I want my house. Okay, so it didn't have anything. And I told John that. I said, he doesn't have anything. Why are these guys trying to hit him? And I was like, he's not an easy mark, he's strapped. So why are you sending guys to his house when he did get shot, so he is crippled?
During this incident?
No, he got shot.
Bro, how the fuck?
Okay, crippled doesn't how can he walk? Is he crippled to a wheelchair?
He's got a cane.
He got a cane.
His been in the cast since last
Bro, I've
November.
taken so
and now
much
he's out.
damage.
Can he drive?
He can drive, or he walks with a crutch, or a
Sneeze.
cane.
What does he drive?
He's on medication now, like pain meds. He's a shell of his former self.
Does he have regular job?
Bro, this guy reminds me of my cousin.
So, like I said, he got shot.
What about his wife?
Same fucking way of talking, same demeanor. I bet you this guy right here, man, he's gonna be like, pretty soon he's gonna be like, fuck, man, you guys got a cigarette I can smoke?
So, yes. He stopped, and everything was out of control. Everybody was plotting on everybody. And I sell a bag of weed here and there. He pretty much was like, it's too crazy. This is before society.
As the interview came to an end, Josh provided detectives with contact information for some
How
of
does
John's
Sean,
friends.
the only fucking guy that
Detectives
gets
then
out?
brought Christy, John's
Get
business
outta
partner,
here.
down to the station for an interview.
Yo,
Through
Sean's
that
fucking
interview
cheating. I
and a
don't
check
see him
of
ever
her
lose
alibi,
this.
detectives were able to eliminate her as a suspect. The following day, detectives went to the
No way.
address associated with the
Fucking
vehicle
blasphemy.
captured on camera near John's house. As they approach the residence on Buck Point Road, they spot a vehicle matching the description of the suspect
Rip
vehicle,
off,
a
man.
2007 Toyota Camry. The vehicle had the distinctive 7-spoke front passenger wheel. The residence belonged to Samuel and Colette Collins. Detectives established that the man Josh knew as Seth was Samuel Collins. Investigators knocked on the front door and identified themselves. Colette answered the door and was asked to come down to the station. She was then escorted to an interview room.
Oh yeah, that's definitely her.
Yeah, it's almost gone.
You like some bottled water or
Diet Coke?
Diet Coke? Give me 1 second. Right back. I'm not sure what they told you when they went out and talked to you just now.
Bro, this chick looks like a chick I dated in high school. I'm not even joking. She's
can
in jail
assume
for
what it's
fentanyl
about
use and like all sorts
whenever
of
he
shit.
said
Like,
it was happened Tuesday night.
well, not just using fentanyl, but like,
That
yeah, it's a good
my
idea.
friend got shot and killed. I was there. I know they're gonna come talk to me. I've watched a lot of First 48. I know whoever's the last person that's been seen is always gonna be talked to. We saw him last. Right. And Josh and I, I'm thinking he was there, but I don't know who else was there or throughout the day or what he did or who he talked to.
So the last time you saw him was that night?
Just to go check up on him. I know he's been suffering with depression and the restaurant closing and everything. And, you know, I've gone through the same types of things with depression and thoughts. Actually intense. And so I went over there to check up on him, and he was doing good. He had a peel mask on, and he was in his room. I guess they called him
Like
at an
a
off
facial?
time. A facial. He had a facial on, and we just sat outside and talked. We just talked.
Did he know you were coming by?
No, he didn't know. He didn't know.
That's surprising.
I was on the way home, and I was like, I'm passing his house. I'm just gonna stop by. I don't think we've ever really communicated over the phone. It's just like I'll see him, or he'll come by my house, and we'll hang out, or whatever, or whatnot.
How do you know him?
I know him from Peppers. We used to go up there because we're right down
Come
the
on,
road from
pet.
Peppers.
Give me the
So
pet.
my
Fuck, man.
husband and I, and so we met him at the back bar and just clicked. Like I can't even forget his birthday because he's like literally 2 months and 9 days off from my birthday, and we were talking about how, you know, same generation, we know the same stuff, kidding about, you know, different colors, Converse, stuff like that. We really didn't have that close of a relationship. He was just someone that I could talk to.
What about he and your husband? How was their relationship?
They had a good relationship. Yeah, I mean, at first they were better friends than he and I were, and then I don't know if my husband just started to get jealous of him and I, like, you know, he gets jealous, but so I was like, okay, and that's what he doesn't know. I went over there that night. He was at the house, and like,
I've lost quite a few.
I don't want him to get upset with me for going over there, you know.
I've ever
and
had.
nothing
Damn,
intimate
son.
happened.
That was a lot of
Nothing
points.
intimate happened. We hugged at
It's only up from
twice.
here.
We never
I
really
gotta up
talked
the
about
ante
having
for the
flirted,
heist. I gotta.
but it never, went too far. That facial was throwing me off. It wasn't very sexy at the time.
That is weird.
The facial.
And he had that on the whole time? He didn't...
The whole time we were
I
talking.
mean, I don't know anything about facials. I don't know if that's a long time to have one on or not.
It was, it was dried. It was ready to come
Was it
off.
like a clay mask or like a peel off?
It was a peel. It was a peel. And he was in this big terry cloth robe. And I was like, ooh, I like this robe, it's soft.
Did you have to, like, go knock on the door, or did he just come out when you...
I went knock.
Went in?
Never went in. We just sat right outside, and my car was parked in the driveway.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn the cap up to like 10K.
How long were you there?
10K gambles, baby. All in.
What all did y'all talk about?
Double up,
We just talked
double or
about,
nothing.
his restaurant, his parents, what he plans on doing next. Yeah, 'cause he keep telling him, like, just because this one closed doesn't mean another restaurant's going to open. Because that, was a big, that really hurt his ego and, got him upset. And I don't like seeing people upset like that. And I knew that he could do it. He was stronger. He's young. He's got so much support. His parents, his friends.
How did he seem? And I ask you this because I know he's been using a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's another thing that brings, cause of concern. And so I was like, okay, he's getting his deep. It's like spiraling out of control now. So that's, stopped by. We just talked about that.
Did he happen to mention any issues he was having?
He's been having a lot of issues. That's all I keep hearing is that he owes money to whoever he's getting these pills from. And the habit was like so bad. We're like, that's why I'm worried about you. You can't do that many and still even have a pulse right now.
Right. So you think his habit was excessive?
Very, very excessive. I mean, it would have to be
No, the GE, bro. So it's prices. You know what I mean? Zach, are you on mobile or are you planning on play a PC?
House while you were there?
I don't know. I mean, I know his dog was there. He said someone was inside, but I don't know who it was. And then I left, and I went and got 2 bottles of Pinot Noir. And I know this is a bad call of judgment, but I did open that wine. My husband hasn't had a drink in over a year as of September 1st, and he doesn't like for me. I don't want to bring it around him, so I kind of rode around and drank on that bottle of wine. And
where did you ride around to?
A little bit of, just kind of stay close to home, but 46 and the farm area and back through his neighborhood. Like, I think I went back through there maybe one time and then started heading home.
Let me ask you something. Would it surprise you if I told you that there's a rumor out on the street that somebody tried to set your husband up to be robbed?
Would I believe that? I don't believe that.
Did that happen?
I think what happened could have been a setup.
What happened?
The door got kicked in.
When was that?
Yeah, it's been about over a month. Husband's at home, laying in the bed, and then the door kicks in, and they're like, freeze, mother. And 2 shots went, and then my husband dove off of the bed and went into my closet, like turned the lights off, closed the door. He didn't have anything to protect himself, so he closed himself off. And I was there, like, right after they were. The door was wide open. Nothing was touched, which I thought was very strange. So then I go looking around. I found one of their shell casings.
So they were shooting at y'all?
They shot like twice, but I don't even know. It was like there's something in the ceiling. I don't know if it was just a scare tactic or what, because no problem ever since.
If 2 people or 3 people or 4 people show up at your house to rob you or to do whatever they were going to do, okay? Your husband was lucky enough to survive, okay? How do we know these people didn't go to John's house to do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm looking for that information. You know, whatever is there, we need to know so that we can look at it and say, okay, are there similarities in this versus this? You're good friends with John, your husband, Josh, all of these guys. I mean, technically could be susceptible to the same thing.
You're right. I didn't think about those same guys going back over there and doing that. I mean, he owed people money. They could have very well been the same people. But it was like word on the street. No one knew who it was, and no one wanted to come up and say they knew anything.
Why would they pick y'all? I mean, it's not like...
From what I hear on that one is that someone went and told them that we were sitting on all kinds of money. And
Go on the trade world.
And that's, you know, why
I mean, you can do that, but like, you can go to any world, bro. It doesn't matter what world you're in. You can still trade on the G and it will sell. It just depends on the price you're selling for and shit.
Do you think that...
Also, if you're on PC, you have to get this client called Runescape, and you have all these things on the side, and XP trackers, world hopping. You know what I mean? Track your Firemaking, all your loot, calculate how long it will take to your next level, track quest guides, built-in in-game quest guides.
I just didn't think it was in that deep. I really didn't think that. I mean, but I guess people will do anything over $20.
So, from what we've been told, is that your husband found out that John set him up because John was hard up in money, and John thought there was money in the house.
But we never thought John was hard up for money. He always had money.
Well, I'm not saying y'all thought John was hard up for money, but I'm saying that John was hard up for money, and your husband was under the impression John set up the deal in y'all's house.
Well,
Because wasn't John over there just a little bit prior to them all coming up?
Yeah, they were all hanging out.
We know that your husband's one of the people that John would buy from, especially if he needed a little weed or something like that, maybe a few pills. So, John believes that y'all have money in the house. He's over at the house that night. We know that he was acting, by your husband's orders, acting suspicious that night. He leaves. Shortly after he leaves, the door gets kicked in. I'm talking like maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes. After he leaves, the door gets kicked in.
It was that.
And then these guys come in, start shooting. For some reason, they just start shooting. They don't steal anything. They don't wreck the place. What in fact happened was your husband shot back and scared them off. They take off. And besides the fact that your husband can ask around and probably figure it out, he knows that John was there just moments before all this happens. Okay? So John obviously set him up. He confronts John about it. And John, for whatever reason, is completely honest. Like, yeah, man, my bad, basically. Because we have John's phone records and John's texts. He's like, my bad. You know, I apologize. You know, you should probably go after those guys, not after me, because they're the ones that actually did it. You know, I'm just in a bad spot. And then we've got other texts from John where he's talking about what he did. You know, that everything went bad. Now he has no money because the thing that he was trying to do didn't work out.
Get the money from us, is what you're saying, that didn't work out.
He was going to get a cut of it. So we know all that. Okay? And we know that your husband knew. And from the sounds of it, you and your husband talk a lot. Y'all share a lot.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that your husband has guns too. I didn't know that he had text messages verifying any of that.
Hit me?
I didn't know that. No, or the gun, or this little buying pills here and there. I mean, I didn't know about any of that. I don't know if you. Oh my God.
When we asked if you thought your husband could have done this,
Sure you don't.
normal response to something like that is, oh, no, absolutely, definitely. Your response to that is, that is not it's not something that comes from somebody who's convinced of the whole person's innocence. You said that you were at his house, you know, and then you said you drove back past his house. What time do you think that was when you drove back past his house?
11:30, maybe like 11:30, 11:45. And I was home and passed out within like minutes once I got home.
Well, there's actually a security camera. So you actually left kind of there the second time. The car was there with you in it right before and right at the time that it happened. So what are you not telling us here? Because we know that there is a good bit more. Because there's a lot that, that we know that we haven't told you yet, but there's obviously a lot that you know that you haven't told us.
I mean, I'm like rattling my brain at what it could be. I'm not quite sure what I know that I don't know exactly what I know to tell. I mean,
Were you by yourself the other night when you were in progress?
yes,
The first time. What about the second?
yes. I never went anywhere else. It was just me. I didn't stop, pick anybody up, nothing. I definitely didn't have anyone in my car. I had my work clothes in there, my purse, shoes. I mean, call anybody. No. Call anybody. If I did, I really can't remember after all the alcohol. I did not know that. It was my car.
No, it's your car.
It's your car. We can see you in it.
Now I feel like this is turning into, do I need to get a lawyer?
I mean, you're not in trouble.
I feel like my words are being twisted around, though.
Colette and the detectives take a 20-minute break. Colette's interview resumes with a detective who has been observing the interview.
There was some evidence found at the scene. There's actually things that were inside the gun. Every time you shoot a gun, things come out. Things get ejected. And we found two of those. Everybody puts an ammo inside guns. I'll just touch it. And then DNA. And I ask you, is there any reason the DNA is going to come back to your husband? Or to somebody that you know is telling you, if you were just driving around, somebody was with you, and they just told you to stop, and you didn't know what was going on, then you need to let us know now. Okay? Because if you don't, then it makes it
DNA, man.
Right.
And I don't want you to think that. I don't want you to feel like that. If you had no idea what was going to happen, if you had no idea that this was going to get out of hand, then you need to let us know. Okay? If you're trying to protect somebody, right now you got to take care of yourself. You need to protect yourself.
But really, I mean, I didn't get anybody. I didn't pick up anybody. I didn't do anything with anybody. I mean,
So there was nobody else in your car that night?
No.
Even though our video shows that there's somebody else in the passenger seat.
I mean, I don't know if there was my clothes. I'm not sure who would have
What do you mean
been
your clothes?
my work clothes hanging in there. I mean, that's
No, this was clearly a person with a face. Who was in your car? I'm not saying that they shot anybody, but there was somebody in your car. If you're giving somebody a ride somewhere, you gotta let us know. If it's somebody other than your husband, I'm not gonna go back and tell your husband, hey, guess what? She has somebody else in the car with her. That's not what I did. Okay? So if you have somebody else in the car, let me know. Who else was in the car with you?
I don't recall anyone being in the car. I really don't. Like, I am rattling my brain as to trying to piece even where I drove, and I can't think of everything. I mean, maybe now is the time for me to go ahead and get my lawyer, because I feel like
I'm asking a simple question.
I'm confused as to what is going on, and I mean, I understand why I'm here, but I don't know why I would be put, like, as a suspect.
Well, because your car was within 10 feet at the same time of a homicide.
Well, you say 10 feet, and
Okay,
then...
well, within 10 yards. 10 yards of his house. Because there's one point when you did drive by, and shortly thereafter is when this happened. You think that that's a coincidence?
I mean, yeah, it could be a coincidence.
It could be. You asked for a lawyer, so I can't continue questioning until you get it. Okay? I do appreciate your cooperation. I appreciate you coming down here, taking the time to speak with us.
I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed, and
Of course, no, I completely understand. You've been in the police department for a long time. You're getting very specific questions. I understand. I don't blame you. I don't judge you. But if there's a point in time,
I would love to have your card, so
sure.
whenever
Let me see if I have a card.
if there is something
Let me see if I have a card.
hear that I can share, I will. I will definitely do that.
Colette's husband, Sam Collins, came to the station. However, he did not come until the next morning. Investigators believe that this was so the couple could get their story straight.
How do you know John? What's your relationship with him?
Just through mutual friends. I just met him through Josh. And at the time, I had just got injured and I was seeking more medicine as well. So when I first hurt this leg over a year ago is when the hospital sent me out with basically no medicine. So I went on the hunt for medicine. And that's how I ended up getting intertwined with these people.
So you mentioned who would you buy the pills from? Same person that John would?
Isaiah Walker.
Did he have any street names or anything like that?
Talk. Yeah, like TikTok, because he takes forever.
That's the same thing Josh said. Your relationship with John. You guys ever have any issues?
He did end up asking me for money whenever those Sip and Cal things started falling off. He said he had some bills going, he wanted to borrow some money. I did loan him some money. And we did have an issue with that, but he actually gave me this watch, which I've been wearing in his honor ever since.
I mean, we're not here to jam you up in any way.
Yeah.
But I just need complete honesty from you, okay? Have you ever had anything in your house that you sold to him, such as narcotics or anything like that?
No.
You never sold him any drugs?
No.
Did you ever let him have any drugs that you had in the house before?
What do you mean you're not trying to jam me up? What kind of question? Why do you want to know?
What I'm saying is I'm not going to arrest you for distribution of whatever you gave him. I'm just trying to establish a relationship that you had with him.
Yes, he did come over, and I did give him some medicine from time to time, yes.
Did he pay for that medicine? Or did he give you, items like a watch?
Well, I think the reason he gave me this watch is because he knew he wasn't going to have any money, and it was sort of his way of buttering me up.
I got you.
And then he told me he was going to pay me later, and that was basically how our thing went. It was just like, well, I'll pay you later. I'm good for it because I got these stocks and this going on and these comic books, and you know about my watches, so why don't you just give me those and I'll pay you later. So I gave him some and gave him some and gave him some, and then he didn't pay me. That was somewhat our relationship because he knows I get medicine, so I can have it sometimes, and I knew other people, and he knew I knew Isaiah as well. So there was that relationship there because there was some of the time where I did have some of Isaiah's, and then he would come and get them and go to work or whatever.
Now, if he knew
actually, I think Isaiah might have been the first person that put me in touch with him, now that I think about it.
If you both knew Isaiah, why would he not go directly to Isaiah and go to you instead?
Convenience.
As far as location and or less money or
not less money, just less time.
That's obviously why you call him TikTok. Yeah, right. It takes a lot of time.
But I quit doing all that.
Tell me about your relationship with your wife. You guys been married for how long?
14 years.
14 years. Did you guys have a rocky point somewhere?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
A couple years ago. She just, we were having issues, and I think with her it might have been some addiction issues she was having with pills, and I was trying to get her to stop, and she didn't want to stop, so.
She was addicted to pills?
Yeah, from her cancer. And I was just trying to get her to stop, but when she gets in that mind frame, there's no stop, there's F you, because you want me to stop, or you're trying to stop me. And that's the way she was then, because whenever she went through cancer, they gave her so much medicine, it was ridiculous. So then afterwards, I tried to help her to get off of it, and it wasn't very much longer that she ended up taking off. But she ended up going up to Augusta, and I saw on her phone that she'd been talking to another man, and I figured out who it was, and it turns out that it was her stepmother's brother, which is just terrible to me. So, okay, so we split up
That's what
for
he
about
thinks.
a year and some change, almost 2 years. And got back together in the middle of it for
That's
a little
what he
bit,
thinks.
you know. But then, I'm trying to think, she came back in April, not last April, but I believe the April before. So we've been together ever since then. Things have been good.
How was her relationship with John?
I don't know. I mean, I know that he took a liking to her, that I could tell a little bit. They were smoking a cigarette on the porch together one day, and he came in and he goes, "Oh, she's just so nice and so sweet and pretty. You're so lucky." Just that.
And how'd that make you feel?
Good.
Good. Well, yeah, anytime somebody compliments your girl, you feel good, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't feel he was stepping over the line or anything? It's just
Put the thing in the fire.
It was a compliment to me.
I gotta ask you, are you aware that she was over at his house the night he was murdered?
She did mention to me when she came home that she stopped by there. Why did she tell you she didn't tell me?
No, I don't know if you knew or not. That's what I'm asking you. If you knew that she was.
No, she told me that she stopped by.
Does she normally stop by his house?
That's what I asked her.
Yeah.
And she said no. She said she just wanted to stop by just because she was concerned about him or whatever.
Now, Tuesday night, where were you?
I was at home. You were at home with my son and
what?
my mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law's home too. Remember what time she came in that night?
I think it was like 1:30 or so.
1:30? Okay.
Maybe. I mean,
do you remember,
she woke me up briefly, but I didn't really.
Do you remember her demeanor?
She was drunk.
She was drunk?
Yes.
Where did she say she was drinking at?
I didn't really ask.
You didn't ask.
I just assumed it was at work, and then, I don't know, at that point.
Drinking at work, the classic, you know.
I didn't get into it, really. I just kind of went back to bed and figured
She
she'd
didn't
talk
tell
about
you
it the next day.
She didn't tell you why she was late coming home. What time does she normally come home?
Sometimes it is kind of late like that.
Okay.
But I don't, you know.
So
She works at Secession, so sometimes the guys will stay out there and drink late. I mean, I did ask her the next day, "Have you been going over there?" I was like, because Josh called me and told me what happened, and then I was like, and then she said, "Well, I was over there last night," and I was like, "Why were you over there?" Like, what the heck are you doing over there? And that's when she told me. And well, I stopped by because I was concerned. I was like, "Well, is this something that you've been doing?" I was like, because I would like to know.
Right. Do you think that she might have been intimate with him?
I sure hope not.
I mean, because, and not to bring up a sore subject with you, but you remember her behavior when she dealt with your stepmom's son. Did she kind of exhibit the same behaviors over the past couple of weeks with John?
No, I mean, I wasn't suspicious.
I mean, you know her more than anybody. That's why I'm asking. You know, if you notice any different in her change in her behavior or anything like that.
No, and she can't really have sex that well because of her, the procedures they did when she had cancer. Sex is not really the first thing on her mind.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, she likes to be treated nice and, you know, for me to be nice to her and kiss on her, you know, and stuff like that, and hugging, but...
Let me ask you something, and our job
Probably
is
like-
not to develop suspects, it's also to eliminate them.
Probably had like cancer in her ovaries or something. If she can't have sex.
If you would give us consent for is one, your DNA, and then two, would you give us consent to search your house and your vehicle?
No.
You want to give us consent to search your house and vehicle?
No, that's just...
Okay.
Feels like invasion of my privacy, and there's...
That's fine, that's why we asked for consent. I figured I'd ask, you know, again, that just helps eliminate you more.
Detectives then asked Sam about the attempted robbery of his house.
So they were on my porch, and I looked through by my wife's vanity in her bedroom. I could see through the blinds, and I could see over. And I just saw a guy in a yellow jacket, and then another figure. Couldn't really tell much more because I went back immediately, you know. And then, so whenever I saw that, I figured I'd try to spook him. So then I flipped the lights on in my room and came out in the den and flipped the lights on. So I get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Like, we're calling 911. Which we didn't. I just heard him bolt, and I could hear him running across the yard. And then I waited a little while, and I saw a car leave from down the road hauling butt.
Did they ever fire any shots at you?
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, there were some rounds, there were some bullet holes in your trailer.
In my house? Yeah, there are. There were some that were there when we moved in.
So there were no bullet shots this night? This night that these guys came to the house, they didn't shoot at you?
No.
Okay.
Somebody may think I had a lot going on because that's what I told John. I'm like, I don't know why they think that there's anything to get here because I don't have anything. Like, I don't have any weed anymore. I was like, all I have is my medication. I was like, and I really don't have much money, you know? I mean, we've got our TVs and stuff in there, but that's it. I was like, I don't understand.
I mean, if you're robbing a trailer,
He
you're
said,
not doing it
and
right.
John told me, he said, well, I think somebody's got either some 6-month-old
I'll be robbing the hills out
or
in Beverly.
they just got the wrong information.
That's what John told you?
Yeah, he said because for whatever reason they think that you're a mark for them to try to get.
That night when you were home by yourself, did you, prior to this happening, people being on your back porch, did you have anybody over that night?
John came over that day.
What time was he over there?
He was over there, he came over in the morning at 10 or 11. He left for about an hour. He came back. He basically hung out with me, but he was acting really nervous and stuff too. Like,
Where do you think he was at?
Hey, keep feeding. Come on, let's go.
He was just
How long was it after he left that these guys supposedly came to your house?
a matter of probably 30 minutes to an hour.
You don't find that out?
A little bit, yeah. And I asked him about it.
Yeah, what'd he say?
He said, well, I went and talked to all the guys that I know and told them that you were my friend and not to go over there. And I said, well, you sure you don't have nothing, you don't know anything about it? And he was like, no, dude, I promise I don't. He said, all I know is the stuff that I heard at the bar. He said, but I'll see what I can find out and see what I hear. I mean, I didn't directly think that immediately, you know, that, because I don't know why he would do that, because I didn't, you know, because he knew that I didn't have anything, so I didn't see his motive. Other than the fact that he owed me a little bit of money, but you know, that's not enough money for that.
Do you ever recall a conversation you had with him over the phone in which he told you that he set you up, he was the one that set it up?
No. Do y'all have that conversation? Because I'd like to hear it.
No, this is just through hearsay. So
That's Josh. You know what? Josh is the one that told me that. He told me that he sort of admitted it, but he never told me specifically. You know what I mean? John never called me and told me.
Okay, how'd you feel after Josh told you that? You know, about
I wasn't real happy about it, but I also didn't really believe it because it's Josh.
Yeah. So these guys did fire at you or no?
No.
I mean, it's not gonna. The reason why I ask is it's not gonna change anything. We just need to know if somebody's willing to try to kill you, then they may also be trying to kill John.
Yeah, they fired at me. I just don't want y'all messing with me. And
we're not here to mess with you. I already told you that.
Yeah, they came through the door and fired at me.
Did you fire? Did you have a gun? Did you fire?
No, I hid in her closet with the lights on.
About how many shots did they fire?
Just 2.
You were alone?
I was alone. She showed up right after, and that's when I ended up calling 911 and saying my wife was okay. I just didn't want to. I don't know. I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want y'all to just. I don't know.
Was there anything else that we discussed?
No, everything else was 100%. It's just that incident.
What prevents these guys from coming back is maybe, you know, you're trying to protect yourself and you happen to find a gun in the house and you shoot back or whatever. I mean, that at least prevents them from coming back. Otherwise, you know, now we're concerned that these guys are going to come back. If they just shot John, now they're going to come back for you because they already shown a proneness for violence. And we don't want that to happen to you or your son or your wife or your family. So is there anything part of this?
How would me shooting back change any of that?
Because it's going to scare them off. It's going to scare them off. They're going to know that you're protecting your house, and they're not going to come back. I mean,
well, I probably scared them off.
I would do the same
say that. Okay. Let's just say that I scared them off.
Okay, you scared them off. Fair enough.
But I currently have no weapons or anything like that.
Okay. Whose weapon was that you used to scare them off?
I didn't necessarily do that. I scared them off. That's all I want to say.
You can't tell us how you scared them off?
I mean, you pretty much know already, so no, I can't.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. You're the victim of this situation. You're allowed to defend yourself, especially in your house. You ever hear of the castle doctrine?
What does it say? That felons can have firearms? I don't think so.
Well, what it says is that you're allowed to protect your house.
Yeah. I'm aware of that, but I don't have anything else to say without a lawyer. Okay.
This kid's smart. This guy's actually smart
I
as
trust
fuck.
that if we have any further questions, or if you hear anything,
I'll definitely let you
Detective
know.
Odom's going to give you his card. Please, I mean,
Yeah,
I know that word on the street spreads quickly.
Yeah.
And
No, it's just the cop playing him. He's
Right.
totally just
I'll
fucking with him.
definitely
You're the
let you
victim
know
here,
they
bro.
need to be taken off.
Right.
It would make me feel safer.
Sam's DNA sample was collected and kept as evidence. After the interviews with Sam and Colette, detectives were at a standstill. They knew who their suspects were. They just needed more evidence to keep the investigation going. 4 days later, on November 4th, a Bluffton police officer performed a traffic stop on Sam Collins's vehicle.
How are you, sir? I'm Los Fayette Police Department. You have a driver's license, registration, and insurance, please. The reason I'm stopping you is for 2 reasons, partner. One, you're doing 40 in a 25 school zone, and the other is you don't have any taillights.
The school zone?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm 10-4.
I don't have any taillights.
You got one brake light. Yeah.
Oh, one brake light?
Yeah.
He does currently have coverage on the 92 Ford Thunderbird.
All right.
Alright, and what was that about a warrant?
He's got 3 active with county.
They want him?
We're going to find out in a minute. You ever heard of him before? Samuel Collins?
Sounds familiar. What's the warrant for?
Breaking into a motor vehicle. Trespass, burglary, larceny. They're coming for him. He's taking a ride, one-way trip to the Great Bar Hotel. We're going to handcuff him here in a second.
He's taking a ride.
Mr. Collins,
Is he the
shut
choker?
your car for me real quick, bud? Yeah. Stop
That's
pulling out with me
hilarious.
real quick.
Why?
I'll explain it to you when you step out of the car, okay?
Next level nice. Gilded. A gilded rune shield.
What's going on?
Like I said before, I'll explain it to you when you step out here. Walk back here. Yeah, walk back here. Get your drink up there real quick. All right. Do you have anything on your person at all?
No.
Mind if I check you out real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. Put your hands right up here on the car for me, okay?
Why am I being pulled out?
Oh, you've got 3 active arrest warrants with Beaufort County.
For what?
Petty larceny, breaking into a motor vehicle, and that's all the ones I know about right now. And there's another reason I'm going to talk to you about here in just a second, okay? Like I knew I could smell weed.
My guy got the weed on him. Dude, I wouldn't even be busting him for the weed. Like, come on now. He's fucking disabled.
All right, just put your hands right behind your back, okay?
Know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Put your palms together, be more comfortable. Go ahead and have a seat, okay? Best you can.
Give me the pet.
Put this shotgun shell back in the car.
What gauge is that?
12.
What kind?
Winchester. Didn't we just have a murder with a shotgun?
Yeah, we did. They recovered 2 casings, I believe, or something like that.
Sam was ultimately charged with simple possession. The arresting officer notified detectives of the shotgun shell found on Sam. Detectives then obtained a search warrant for Sam's vehicle. The shotgun shell and a phone were recovered and entered into evidence. Detectives then secured a warrant for Sam and Colette's home on Buck Point Road. Colette was there during the search. Investigators recalled her being surprised that they were there and disrespectful to them. During the search, they noticed shotgun holes throughout the house, as well as a shooting target above the bed with numerous holes in it. Detectives found something that resembled a shotgun, but upon further inspection, it was determined to be a BB gun that their son used. Ultimately, no weapons were found inside the house. However, they did recover multiple shotgun shells. Frustratingly, the shotgun shells collected did not match the type used in John Sherrall's murder. While at the home, detectives seized multiple cell phones. Investigators searched through the phones belonging to Sam and found a rather damning text message. The message was sent to one of Sam's friends and it read, "I hope you don't wake up from this text. Put gun in back of truck. Was gonna wrap it in that camo gloves in there too. Had a late night ride just between us, not crew in morning. Just me. See you soon. Thank you." That was my best interpretation of the text. The message was sent less than 2 hours after John's murder. There was also a follow-up message sent by Sam 2 days later to the same number. That message read, "You haven't seen me, I haven't seen you." Detectives immediately got a search warrant for the number, which allowed them to determine the details of the man Sam was texting. The man was identified as William Cody Brown. Based on the messages between Sam and Cody, a search warrant was obtained for Cody's house. Cody lived in the farm neighborhood, the same neighborhood Colette admitted to driving through on the night of the murder during her drinking and driving escapade. Inside Cody's garage, detectives found camouflage clothing, a camouflage shotgun, one fired shotgun shell, and multiple unfired shotgun shells. Those items were seized by Bluffton police investigators. Cody was then brought down to the station for an interview.
He's scared for his life again tomorrow. Okay, but it's, it's my baby. Please don't let nothing happen to it. I wake up the next morning and I had a message for that he'd put it in the back of my truck. And I was like, didn't it rain last night? And I was like, what the heck is he doing? I go back there and it was, it's still loaded and the safety was off of it. So I unloaded it and put it up. It had the cement around. And it hadn't been injected. We used to have this weapon around. I think the cement around still has.
Cody stated that a couple of weeks ago, Sam Collins asked to borrow his shotgun for protection. Cody let him use his 12-gauge shotgun. The camouflage shotgun is sent for DNA and ballistics testing. While waiting for the results, detectives rewatched the footage from just before the murder, looking for evidence that would place Sam at the crime scene. The suspect vehicle drove past John's house and made a left-hand turn on Masters Way, where it went out of view of the camera. This time, detectives spotted the reddish hue of brake lights. The brake lights were on for a short period of time and reflected off of the wet pavement. With no traffic on the road at that time of night, it begs the question, why had the car stopped? This was a few minutes before the shooting, and when detectives believe Colette was dropping Sam off to confront John. Investigators fast forward to just before the shooting. The same vehicle drove up to the intersection, passing John's house, and proceeded on Masters Way. Just after exiting the frame, the reflection of the brake lights can be seen again. This is when investigators believe Colette picked up Sam after the murder. Using the location of the shell casings in the backyard and the brake lights, detectives determined how long it would take for someone to walk between the two. They determined that there was enough time for someone to walk through the pine trees to John's backyard, find where the victim was sitting with his friend, pull the trigger a couple of times, and then immediately retreat. On November 12th, DNA results came back on Cody's shotgun. Sam Collins's DNA was found on the magazine cap, the trigger or grip area, and the stock. Sam's DNA was also found on the camo clothing the shotgun was wrapped in. The probability of a random unrelated person with the same DNA profile as the one found on the shotgun and clothes was 1 in 2.4 sextillion. On November 23rd, the ballistics from the shotgun came back. The shotgun recovered from Cody's garage matched the spent rounds found in John's backyard.
That guy's so
Based on the ballistics and DNA results, Arrest warrants were obtained for Sam and
wild.
Colette Collins for the murder of John Sherrall. An additional arrest warrant was obtained for Sam for possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Officers, along with a detective, went to the home on Buck Point Road to serve the arrest warrant on Colette Collins. Colette was arrested on her front porch without incident. While being placed in the patrol vehicle, Colette stated that she wanted to speak with the detective without an attorney present when she arrived at the station. A different detective met with John's family and advised them of the arrest of those responsible for the murder of their son. Detectives escorted Colette into an interview room.
After I left John's, I went home, and we got into a fight, Sam and I. I don't even remember everything. He was mad that I went to John.
So this was before or after Parker's?
This was after Parker's. I went to Parker's, and I went home with the wine, and he was upset with me because I had already gone to John, and I had never talked to John without Sam around. So he automatically thought something was up when there wasn't anything, but I was just concerned. I was truly concerned for John, and I didn't know any of this had happened until I saw it in the news, and I just knew, I didn't know what to do. I was scared, and so I go to leave, and he grabs me, and you're not going anywhere without me, and chases me down, gets in the car, and then at that point,
So you actually got in the car and were pulling away?
Yes. Okay. And at that point, I didn't want to take the fight back to the house because of Chase being there and everything, and we rode around talking.
Where did the argument happen at that point?
A lot of it was outside on the front porch. And he was getting really loud, and, I couldn't control him, so I just was like, I'm out of here. And he ended up getting in the car, chased me down, got to the car. We didn't go too far. And then I was like, okay, I gotta get some sleep. I've gotta be at work at 8 in the morning. I don't need this shit. Nothing's going on. Nothing, you have nothing to worry about with the Johns or anyone.
No, I haven't updated how you Santy. I will
step
tomorrow.
out in our marriage before, and so that's always, I still would get that flack from him constantly. I didn't know whenever he got the gun what was going to happen, and I know that we went back to the house, and he had been carrying that gun since Cody gave it to him for protection from the door getting kicked in. And, he was constantly paranoid about someone coming back. And so he had that gun, and then he was like, well, let's go talk to John. I want to confront him about you. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And we rode around, and you could, and I'm like, I don't know what to do at this point. I don't know what to do. And we ended up getting into more of a fight, and I threw my hands up and told him to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of my car. And I left. And then he called me and said, I need you to come get me. And I had no idea what happened, what was going on. He just kept saying, let's go. Come on, let's go. Where are you? And, I'm like, what the fuck did you do? Did you talk to John? What did he say? I was like, did you hear what he had to say? Because I know that him and I had nothing going on.
She's definitely
And
lying.
He
She's only telling part of the truth here.
Went home. I slept on the couch, and he slept in the bed. I got up and went to work the next day, not knowing what transpired. Then whenever he called me to come pick him up, he was on Masters. He's at Masters.
Right there next to Congress.
And he said, I'm like, what's going on? Have you calmed down? And he's just like, fine, nothing. He didn't want to fight with me anymore. It was, take me here to Cody's house. He threw that thing back there. I was like, well, why are you getting rid of it? That's what you've been having for protection. Why all of a sudden do you not want it anymore? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And at what point did you realize what had happened?
After work the next day, I saw it on the news.
Why didn't you come forward at that point?
I was scared. He knew I'd figured it out. There were so many times I had your card and I wanted to call you, and I'm scared of him.
Back to when you said you and Sam got in the car and Sam had the gun with him. What kind of gun was that? What did it look like? Camouflage shotgun. Okay. So where did you drop him off so he could go talk to John?
That's what we're trying to. I can't remember exactly where.
Okay.
I thought it's close to his buddy's house in Pine Ridge.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Now you've been to John's house before. You already told us that.
Yes.
You told us that a couple weeks ago too.
Yes.
So you know where John's house is.
Yes.
You know how to get there.
Yes.
You know how to get there and get to Cody's house.
Not really, like, I'd have to be on the road to do it. I'm not too familiar with all that.
So you, as you're going towards John's house, so Sam could confront John, you dropped him off in front of his house? Because you passed by his house.
No. I know it wasn't near John's house.
Detectives asked Colette to write down her account of that night. While doing so, she asked them some questions.
Can you tell me what happened to me?
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to you about all that. You just gotta get this written down, and then I'll talk about a couple of different things. Okay, I'll answer any questions you need to. Okay.
What is it? I mean,
that's gonna depend on a lot of different things. But let's finish this up.
Don't worry, you're female. You only go to jail for like 10 years.
Can we talk about what's gonna happen? I don't want to get in trouble for not coming forward. I know I should have come forward, but what is gonna happen? I mean,
okay, I understand that.
This is not me, like I've never been in any trouble, and he, I've tried to get away from him, and now I'm wrapped up in something that, I just want to move forward from and take care of my son. And
she wants to move forward from. What about the other guy? You think he doesn't want to move forward? The guy you shot?
I'm scared. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, she didn't shoot him.
Well, here's the thing. I know that I told you what you're charged with. South Carolina, if you
suspended sentence tag?
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I understand. Let me just explain, because we haven't gotten your side of the story before this, right? So we've been having to, we've been looking at the evidence and doing our own thing here. The thing is, I know you're telling me you want to come clean with us now and tell me.
Trying to do to her? Yeah, she's.
I already know you're not telling me the complete truth. You asked what's going to happen. Right now, what's going to happen is you're being charged with murder. Okay? You're going to jail for murder. This is your opportunity to be upfront and honest about everything with Detective Odom and I. Because here's the thing. We have your statement. I can already tell you that items in that statement are not true. Okay? Like your phone calls, your text messages.
I don't remember. I mean, I know you have the records. I don't remember those, like, verbatim.
Okay, and that's fine. You may not remember them verbatim. But the thing is you remember what you did the night with Sam. The night that John was killed. For instance, you say you stopped at a stop sign, worried with him, told him to get the fuck out. But you're saying you were somewhere near, you dropped him off somewhere near Pine Ridge or something like that, but we have you on security camera. Stopped at the stop sign in Pinecrest, right next to John's house. We have you take a left, and then your brake lights come on. And we can't see who gets out of the car, but we know you dropped somebody off there. And then you go down Master's Way, you take a left on McCracken Circle. Hold on, I'm letting you know what we've got, so you can try to be a little bit more clear about this. You go left on McCracken Circle, you go all the way down, you come back, come in Pinecrest on the back way, which is when we can see you, your face in the car. because that security camera on that entrance is angled in such a way that we can see that. You come all the way back around. Now you're driving slowly past John's house with your window down. This is after you've dropped off Sam. And we can see on the camera the 2 shotgun blasts as you're right in front of John's house. Okay, so we know you heard the shotgun blasts.
No.
Then you go and you stop at the stop sign again. You wait for 20-ish seconds, 23 seconds. Just enough time for Sam, who's obviously got a limp, he can't run, to walk back to Master's Way, at which point you turn left, we see you, brake lights come on again, you pick him up. We have a witness who saw Sam walking towards Master's Way, and he saw him get into a car. It turns out there were no other cars at that time, because we have the security
Yo,
cameras,
you
so
peace
we know
out,
there
kiddies.
were
Have a
no
good
cars.
night.
Saw him get into the car and saw you peel out and go away. So you were right in front of John's house when the shotgun went. So we know you heard it.
I didn't know. No, I didn't know that was what was going on. I swear to God.
So when you
I'm
heard the
trying
gunshots,
to
what did you think
remember
happened?
everything that happened in the roads, and I can't remember.
Let's forget about that. When you heard the shotgun.
I don't remember hearing shotguns.
So when Sam got out of your car in front of near John's house with a shotgun, and then got back into your car with a shotgun, and you heard those shots, what did you think happened?
I didn't know what happened.
Be
I
safe
didn't know
always.
what happened. I don't remember hearing shotguns. I really don't remember hearing anything like that.
Okay, so what did Sam tell you happened when he got back in your car from John's house with that shotgun in his hand?
He didn't tell me anything happened. He wouldn't tell me details on anything. It wasn't until after I went to work and came home and then saw him again that shit started coming out.
If you were taking Sam over there to talk to John, that's the plan, for him to talk to John, and for whatever reason you think it's okay, he's got a shotgun to go talk to John, why did you think that Sam went behind the houses? Instead of going up to John's front door and going to talk to him, which is the way if you're going to talk to somebody, you go to the front door, Sam goes behind the houses.
I don't remember seeing him go behind the house.
And that's where you picked him up from, too. We know you stopped at that stop sign and waited till you could see him come out from behind the houses and then turn left on Master's Way.
I don't remember seeing him go behind the house.
Call it.
I swear to God, I am being honest here. I don't want to go.
I'm going to stop you, okay? And the reason I'm going to stop you is because this is your opportunity. Again, I'm going to say, this is your opportunity to do the right thing, okay? What happened, happened. But this is your chance to do the right thing. Because today, I had to look a mother in the face and tell her that her son was killed. She already knew that. And we had to tell her that again. So I want you to stop and think as a mother how you would feel if that happened to Sam or happened to your son Chase. Wouldn't you want the person sitting in this room right now to tell the truth? So stop lying to me. Stop lying to Detective Odom. Because here's the thing. You're going to jail. And what you do in this room will determine how things go. I can't tell you that I'm going to get you out of a murder charge. We can't do that. We're not prosecutors. We're not attorneys. But the truth in this room goes a long way. So I want you to stop and think about your son. Because that's what John was to somebody else. He was a
Detective
son.
is cold, yeah.
So let's go over this again. You go to
He's a
your
good one.
house. You've told
There's
Sam
some really
you
bad
see
detectives
John.
out there. It's crazy.
So Sam's angry. What specifically is he saying? Now that he's found that you went over to John's house, this guy that he is certain is responsible for y'all's door getting kicked in and Sam almost getting killed. Sam's certain that John did that. Sam told us that in the first interview, that he knew John was responsible for that. So Sam finds out you just went to John's house. Sam's a jealous guy anyway, and this is the guy that almost got Sam killed, and potentially the rest of your family if y'all had been home. So what did Sam say when you tell him you went to John's house?
He accused me of, sleeping with John, and I told him no, and he even went as far as to check my underwear to see what they looked like, and check to see if I had shaved my legs or that down there.
What did he say specifically about John? I mean, is he, knowing Sam, he's obviously going to be ranting about...
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think. I don't remember the specifics, it was just Why did you go over there? Why would you do that to me? You're making me look like a fool
What
for
about after-
talking to him without me there.
What about after y'all go back home, and then he gets riled up again, and he grabs his shotgun? At that point, what's he say?
I'm going to go confront him about y'all. I'm going to go confront him about the door and who did it. And he was thinking that he was going to find out who kicked in our door by threatening John with the gun. I don't think he intended.
Let me tell you about that. Because what happened when he got there, he didn't say one word to John. Because there was a witness out on the porch right next to John. Your husband didn't say word one. They didn't even see him. All they heard was a shotgun rack and then 2 shotgun blasts. And John didn't even hear the blast because the first one hit him in the face. All right? So the guy sitting next to him had brains all over his shirt. All right?
So, Colette, I want you to think again. I want you to think real hard, okay?
I love how she's crying for herself. She doesn't give a fuck this guy's dead.
That house with a shotgun, knowing
oh my god,
he's
my
going
life
to
is
confront
over.
John. You drove around the block. You come back and you're in front of the house. 2, not 1, but 2 shotgun blasts go off, and then your husband gets back in your car.
He tells you he's got to go drop the shotgun off at somebody's
At Cody's house.
I thought that I didn't know that he did that. I didn't know that he did that. I thought that he just did it to scare him.
Did what to scare him?
Shoot the gun. That's what he told me.
When did he tell you that?
When he got in the car. Whenever I was questioned, because I heard it and I was freaking out, and he didn't want to tell me, I guess, what happened, and I thought that he was going over there to confront him and scare him and find out who did it, because he then was talking about going after them, and that's why he wanted to take the gun. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So when you dropped him off, was the plan for you to circle back around and he'd wait till he saw you, and then he'd scare him, and then he'd come on back out?
Yeah.
So that's why you drove slowly past it, so he'd see that was you. Fire the shotgun, scare him, get whatever information he needed to get.
When did Sam tell you he killed him?
Like, after, oh gosh, it was the next day in, like, the evening.
So a day goes by, and Sam tells you that he killed John.
I saw what happened on the news,
Okay.
and that he was dead.
Okay.
And I started freaking out.
Okay.
And questioning him if he did.
So you started questioning Sam about it, and what did Sam say?
He said, you better not tell anybody anything.
Sam's reason for this was that it was revenge for the hit on y'all's house. Did Sam say that that was his purpose when he went over there? He went there to kill him?
No.
What was the conversation in the car on the way to John's house?
We were still arguing about if I had sex with John, if I'd ever talked to him before on the phone or texted him, and I hadn't. And then, we were like almost there, and I was wanting to turn around because I don't like this. And he was slamming my head up against the window so hard. It was ringing in my ear. It was so hard.
So he tells you...
He says, well, let's just go over there so I can confront him and threaten him, intimidation with this gun. And I said, I didn't even know he had bullets for the thing. I thought it was going to be an intimidation factor. And he didn't want me to go in because he didn't want me in the middle of the gun. And if John had his pistol, and if the roommate had his pistol, and...
Well, I'm going to stop you, okay? And the reason I'm going to stop you is, my question is, if you knew he was only going over there to scare him, why'd you drop him off in the wood line?
That was when he didn't want me to be seen. I don't know. He said, I just want to show up over here and scare him.
So, I guess what I'm getting at then is, so when you're driving, is Sam telling you go here, or he tells you go to John's house?
He was telling me which way he wanted me to go.
How did he know that John was on the back porch?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's such a good
You
question.
dropped Sam off.
Everybody had the
back
pistol?
road behind John's house. How did Sam know that he was going to be on the back porch?
I don't think he knew that he was going to be on the back porch.
That's such a good
I
question.
think he was going to scare him, and he happened to be on the back porch smoking.
So if Sam shows up, he gets back there, and John's not on the back porch, what's Sam's move going to be?
Knock on the back door.
Knock on the back door?
Or go in the back. I don't know. Whenever we got to Cody's, he told me to stop and let him out. He got out, and I couldn't tell what he was doing, and then I knew he threw something in the back of Cody's truck and told me to turn around and pick him up. I want to give you the truth. I don't want...
Well, that's what
I want justice for John. And I want it to be right.
So the night that y'all's door got kicked in, you ate a lot of Sam's guns in that shed? Is that what you're talking about? That building? And John knew about that?
Yeah. Sam was going off on a bender, drinking and drugs, and had been acting all kinds of crazy. And there happened to be one still in the house. And Sam found it, and then that's how all of the rest of it transpired. It kicked in the door. He said he heard mother and freeze, and he was in the bedroom. They came around, he shot. No one else was there. I come there literally 5 minutes after it happened. Doors wide open, dogs are gone. So John was the last person that was there that day, and he saw me walk those guns up.
That's just about everything. I'm going to stick you back in the cell real quick. We're going to finish up some paperwork we got to do here, and then we'll transport you. Okay?
Detectives transported Colette to the Beaufort County Detention Center. With Sam already at the center because of his drug possession charge, detectives served him both warrants and then explained all of the evidence they currently had. Sam was read his rights and initially advised that he would speak with detectives, but shortly after the interview began, Sam requested to speak to an attorney. At trial, the prosecution laid out the following sequence of events to the jury. Colette Collins knew that John Sherrall was having some problems with his restaurant business, so she went over to his house to see how he was doing. She spent roughly 50 minutes with John in the front yard. After that, she stopped at a gas station to pick up some wine and proceeded to drink the wine over the next hour. She eventually returned home, which is where Sam Collins found her, drunk. He asked her where she had been, and she told him she was at John's house. Having previously been cheated on by Colette, Sam believed that she was at it again. Sam became enraged, even more so because she was with the man he believed orchestrated the attempted robbery of his house. Sam then demanded that they go and confront John. Sam brought with him his friend Cody's shotgun. Colette drove Sam to John's neighborhood and dropped him off on Master's Way, where, unseen by cameras, he was able to slip around the back of Jonathan's house and shoot him. He then retreated through the trees to where Colette picked him up. They then dropped off the shotgun in the bed of Cody's truck and headed home. At his trial, Samuel Collins is found guilty of murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. He is sentenced to 50 years. Colette maintained her now third story of dropping off Sam and believing he was there strictly to confront John, not to kill him. Without any evidence to the contrary, Colette's charges are eventually reduced to accessory after the fact. After hearing Colette's statements about not knowing about the murder until she saw it in the news, Sam agreed to testify against her. He claimed that he had told her that he shot John right when he got back in the vehicle. Colette then assisted him in disposing of the shotgun. With the help of Sam's testimony, Colette Collins is convicted of accessory after the fact and is sentenced to 15 years. No one else was found to be involved in John's murder. John's friend, Drew Franklin, said that he is angry that John was cheated out of life and that his family had to go through this. Drew said that he would like John to be remembered as the funny guy who brought people together. He said that John had a bright future that was unfairly cut short. Remember to check out Exter with the link in the description or the pinned comment. For more videos of cases never before seen on YouTube, click one of the videos on screen now or the links in the pinned comment. Goodbye for now.
Yeah, he's gonna bring an empty gun to a dangerous situation. Exactly. A heated confrontation. Motherfucker, you sleeping with my wife? Like, get out of here.
I just can't live with this lie.
We call that shit the pop, man. That's the power of the pussy
Our story
right there.
begins
You know what I'm
in
saying?
a small farming
Driving
community
man
of
insane.
Lake Crystal, Minnesota. Just
Call that
before
the
6
pop.
a.m. on August 31st, 2010, Blue Earth County law enforcement received a distressed 911 call.
Blue Earth County 911.
POP, power of the pussy. The pop.
What's going on? Somebody shot your husband?
Yeah. Please send the ambulance, please.
Okay, is the person still there that shot him?
I don't know. He left.
Is there anybody else in the house with you?
My son is no show. My God, my teenage son is.
How old is your son?
He's 16.
16-year-old?
Oh my God, I better make sure.
The woman goes downstairs, wakes her son, and informs him that his stepfather has been shot and that she has been assaulted. The son's voice can be heard in the background.
Where in the house are you right now?
I'm in the basement right now.
Okay, is your son in the basement with you too?
Yeah, my son is in my basement too.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. He got me when I don't know.
Got you?
No, he got me. No, you can't. You can't. He left.
On his way to work, a Blue Earth County Sheriff's deputy hears a dispatch call of a home invasion. In hearing the name of those inside the residence in question, he knew exactly where to go
Professor?
because he knew them.
Yo, that's the fucking quote of the century right there, Tanner.
Upon entering the home, the deputy finds Jennifer and her teenage son Brady sheltering in
We
their
pinned in
basement.
that one.
Brady had a gun with him that he had grabbed for protection after his mother had woken him up and informed him of what had happened. Jennifer directs the deputy to the bedroom she shares with her husband. On the way to the room, the deputy recalls furniture being out of place and different items lying about. They reach the master bedroom, which is where they find Jennifer's husband, 26-year-old James Nibby, lying in bed with a gunshot wound to the back of his head. He appeared to have been lying on his stomach prior to being shot. The deputy checked for a pulse but was unable to find one. Paramedics arrived shortly after. As additional officers arrive, the scene is secured. Jennifer and Brady are escorted outside of the home. Within 30 minutes, a detective arrives on the scene and speaks with Jennifer. She said that she was getting ready for work. She got up, took a shower, and was in the process of brushing her teeth when she heard a loud bang. She opened the bathroom door to find her husband shot and a masked man holding a shotgun. The intruder attacked her with a
Why
knife,
wouldn't he shoot
placed
her
a
too?
rope around her neck, and dragged her to the living room. Jennifer showed the detective the cut marks on the inside of her thighs. She continued by stating that the family dog began barking, to which the intruder reacted by saying, "You're lucky," then letting go of her and fleeing. Jennifer said the rope came from their garage, and she recognized the knife as one of their knives. Jennifer then talked about the shotgun the intruder had during the attack. She said that James...
You're lucky. I don't know. See, the thing is, though, if someone's going to intrude into a home, they're going to bring weapons with them.
Nibby, aka Jim,
More
had
times
recently purchased a shotgun as a gift for her, and that they were going to go deer hunting with it the following day. Jennifer said she left the gun outside after a target practice session with her husband the night before. The only two people in the house still alive were Jennifer, Jim's wife, and Jennifer's son, 16-year-old Brady, Jen's son from a previous marriage. You know those annoying promotional mailers you receive from every credit card company known to man?
Right,
Well,
so guys, this
with
is
the
another
sponsor
fucking
of
ad.
today's video, just one of them named Mall, and personal
Fuck out of here with this shit, kid.
and keep on watching. The detective then speaks with Brady. He seemed like he had just woken up. He was confused and in shock.
Can you tell me what happened over here today? Well, I was downstairs sleeping, and my mom came in at about 6 o'clock, or maybe a little earlier, and I slept right through the gunshot, I guess. I had a gun downstairs. I have a 22 for hunting and stuff, and so I grabbed that and put some shells in there because I didn't know where he was at or anything like that. So I go upstairs, and she told me to wait down there, but I went upstairs, and I just sat in the entryway, and then she was crying and stuff, and then we waited till the police got there.
All Who Deserve to
Police
Stay
sent
is a good
Jennifer
one you
to the
should
hospital
watch.
for
I think that's what it's called.
Because there was an
Weird.
intruder,
That's
police
probably,
also started a ground search of the area.
That's
Corn was
some-
planted
that's-
around the farm
how
near
long
the
is it?
residence, so they started searching the cornfield on foot. Jim's sister, Leslie Johnson, was notified by her father that a
Bro,
neighbor
I
on
swear to
Jim's
God, that
street saw
Leslie
a lot
chick-
of police cars and taped a neighbor on Jim's street. Police also started a ground search of the area. Corn was planted around the farm near the residence, so they started searching the cornfield on foot. Jim's
Bro, this Leslie chick, if she lost like 100 pounds, bro, she would be a dime.
sister, Leslie Johnson, was notified by her father that a neighbor on Jim's street saw a lot of police cars and tape stretched across the end of Jim's driveway. She called Jim's house and the call went unanswered. Leslie's father asked her to go down there and see what was going on. She said that she immediately felt
51
panicked.
minutes? Yeah,
She had
fuck,
a
I'm
feeling
probably
that
just gonna finish
something
this
was
and then
terribly wrong.
call the
She
stream
drove
there.
to Jim's house as fast as she possibly could. As she approached the house, she was stopped by an officer. She said to the officer that her little brother lived in that house. The officer looked at her and said, "Are you Leslie?" She said yes. The officer said, "I'm sorry, there was a shooting this morning and your brother is dead." She was in absolute shock. She couldn't understand who would have shot her brother and why. Jim's brother Jason was at work at the time. His sister called him and told him the devastating news. He sat in his car for a while, not knowing what to do. Jason said that everybody loved Jim, his big smile, buck teeth, and in a brotherly comment, his stupid grin. Jim's other brother, Dennis Nibby, remembers the good times when Jim would come over, listen to music, and throw darts. Dennis found it odd that somebody would break into Jim's house. He said that Jim didn't owe anybody money, at least that he knew of. The detectives find that the scene was inconsistent with a burglary. None of the items from the home were missing. No forced entry was observed. Detectives now question if Jim was specifically targeted. They needed to find out more about the victim and his relationship with Jennifer and Brady. James Jim Nibby was born on October 30th, 1983. Jim grew up in Vernon Center, Minnesota. He loved to fish and hunt. He enjoyed doing basically anything outdoors. He was a 2002 graduate of Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial High School. In his professional life, Jim was an apprentice electrician. His boss Darren Deluge described Jim as determined and of having a lot of potential. Jennifer Gilman also grew up in rural Minnesota. She was 6 years older than Jim, born in 1977. Jennifer was a pretty and popular student in high school. When she became pregnant at age 16,
I was gonna say, she
Jennifer
looks like
was
the town
determined
whore.
to be a good mother. In 1993, she gave birth to her son Brady. She pursued a degree in nursing. She eventually was able to purchase a home and land in rural Blue Earth County, Minnesota. Jennifer's dedication
She's that
to
chick
her
that was at
son
school
and
and she's
career
like,
didn't
I don't
leave
have
much
any
time
friends
for
that are
dating.
girls.
But
All
in
my friends are guys.
2007, she met 24-year-old
She's getting
Jim
fucking ran
Nibby.
through every
He
other
was
weekend.
helping a friend who was having a medical crisis, and
On
Jennifer
God.
was the nurse
Just looks
responding
like the
to that
type.
emergency. The two started dating shortly after. In the months that followed, Jim fell in love and decided to propose to Jennifer. He asked for her son's blessing, which he received. Jennifer said yes, and the two were married in May of 2008. Jennifer continued working as a nurse, often working 2 jobs to make ends meet. Jim was an apprentice electrician, making significantly less than Jennifer. Jennifer's family stated that she was frustrated with being the breadwinner and other aspects of her marriage. Jim was deeply in love with Jennifer and tried to make their marriage work. With their initial interviews of friends and family finished, investigators subpoenaed Jim, Jennifer, and Brady's phone records. Detectives learned that Brady had also called 911.
Where's Tony 911?
Hi, okay. I was sleeping, and my mom came in my room, and she woke me up and said someone broke into our house, and my stepdad got shot.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still here.
Okay. Well, we have your mom on the line, and my partner's getting everything that we need to get from him.
Okay, thank you.
From your mom. So we're going to get people out there as soon as we can for you, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
In Brady's initial interview, he failed to mention that he had also called 911. This was a conflict in the initial information that detectives were receiving. According to Jim's boss Darren, Jim liked Brady and wanted to be someone important in Brady's life. Jim had mentioned to Darren some disagreements that he had had with Brady, but it seemed like Jim and Brady got along most of the time. In contrast to Darren's statements, Jim's brother Dennis said that Jim would get frustrated with Brady because he would not complete the chores Jim had asked of him. Jim told Dennis that he couldn't get Brady to do anything. He just wanted to stay in his room and play video games. Could these disagreements between stepfather and stepson have led to murder? The detectives speak with Jennifer again. She was asked, "Who do you think would do this?" She believes she recognized the masked intruder by his voice and stature. She reports Paul Hallberg. Paul was Jennifer's previous boyfriend and Jim's best friend. Jennifer believed that Paul was jealous of her and Jim's relationship. Paul would have known the layout of the residence as he previously lived there with Jennifer. As Jim and Jennifer's relationship began, Paul and Jim's friendship ended. This was a clear-cut motive in the eyes of investigators, so they quickly located Paul and brought him in for questioning.
I'm guessing, on the phone you kind of mentioned you kind of heard about things that had happened. What do you know about what happened?
I guess what I have heard is that, well, initially there was a home invasion and it was a murder.
Okay. How did you find out about this stuff?
The news.
Okay. When were you involved in a relationship?
Crime-tastic.
I think it was like a year before they were married.
Before she
Crime-tastic.
married Jim?
Yes.
How long was that relationship?
2-3 years.
Did it end well?
Not very well, no.
Okay, how'd you know Jim?
He was just a friend of mine, I guess. Jim was always a good guy, and I never had a problem with him. It was always just kind of between me and Jen, I guess.
According to Jim's sister Leslie, Jennifer had told her that Paul's family owed her money and that he might be after her. Paul confirmed to detectives that there was some money that was loaned to his father from Jennifer.
Tuesday morning. Do you remember where you were at?
Not exactly. I believe I was at work.
Even Jen had mentioned, in her statements, well, you really should go and talk with my ex because, I think he's somebody that you should really look into. And what I'm trying to do with you, too, is if there's a surefire way that we can verify where you were at that morning, it makes life a lot easier for everybody, you know what I mean?
Right, yep.
Paul reported that he was working in St. James, Minnesota, which is a considerable distance from the Nibby's home. Based on the timeline that he provided to investigators, it is possible that he could have committed the murder. He said that he had made it to St. James at 7:30 a.m. The crime had occurred just prior to 6 a.m. Investigators need to explore Paul's whereabouts further to determine if he is a legitimate suspect. Now, 48 hours after the murder, detectives retrieve phone and computer records from the devices recovered at the scene. In searching through Jennifer's phone, detectives uncover messages she had exchanged with another man. Detectives determine that this male is Greg Nielsen, and that Jen and Greg had dated in the past prior to her dating Jim. There were text messages sent back and forth and some pictures exchanged. The conversation mentioned engaging in a romantic relationship. One of the messages that were sent prior to Jim's death arranged a time for the two to meet up. Detectives wondered if the two were trying to rekindle a long-lost relationship, one that would require Jim to be out of the picture. Was Greg part of the scheme to kill Jim? 4 suspects were still on the table for detectives: Jen's son Brady, Jen herself, Jim's former best friend Paul, and Jen's new lover Greg. Could Jen have instructed one of these men to kill her husband? Detectives made contact with Greg and asked him to come down to the sheriff's office.
Yo, Sean, you stay out of trouble, brother?
They asked where he was.
I'm watching this and I'm heading to bed myself.
On the day Jim was killed. Greg stated that at the time of the crime, he was at home with his girlfriend and his newborn baby, and that he was feeding the child. Detectives asked Greg if his girlfriend knew about the communications he had been having with Jennifer Nibby. He indicated that his girlfriend did not know. They also asked him about the nature of his relationship with Jen. He explained that they had been involved in a romantic relationship many years earlier, but that he had not had any kind of physical relationship with her since then. Jim's sister Leslie stated that Jen was obsessed with any man that would pay attention to her. She reportedly looked for people that she could manipulate. Leslie's suspicions of Jen grew larger as she was provided more information by the police. However, Jim and Leslie's mother saw Jen as part of their family and believed that she wouldn't be capable of harming her son. Detectives get a search warrant for Jen's residence. They find financial documents showing that Jim and Jen were behind on their house payments and credit card bills. Another item found during the search of the home was Jen's personal diary. In reading it, they hear of the family's struggles and her feelings towards this other man, Greg Nielsen. She talked about how her husband was a good man, but said she didn't want to be with him anymore, and that she was interested in pursuing a relationship with Greg. Now, 3 days after Jim Nibby's murder, Jim's boss Darren informs detectives that he has some information that he believes could be important. Darren told investigators about a conversation he had had with Jim about a month prior to his death. Jim had told him that he and Jen were getting a $250,000 life insurance policy, and that it was something that was initiated by Jen, but that he also thought was a good idea. With everything that they had gathered, detectives believe it was time to bring Jen in and make an arrest. On September 10, 2010, 2 days after Jim's funeral, Jennifer Lee Nibby was arrested. The following day after being arrested, Jen informed her lawyer and detectives that she wanted to talk.
I want all this to go away.
I know.
And I know it's not going to.
I hope you can look at me in the eyes and believe that I'm not going to lie to you, okay? We don't want to do that. We don't need to do that. You said yourself, you've always been an honest person. You are of good character, okay? You have no criminal record. You have worked hard to make something of yourself, and you've worked very hard to make something of Brady, and he is a great kid. He is number one in his class.
He is a good kid. Oh
Yeah.
God, he's a good kid. I just can't live with this lie.
And I'm not gonna push you. I know you're having a very hard time with this, okay? This is completely understandable. But we do need to go through the details. Just one time, okay?
Okay.
And you do it, and we're not gonna push, and you do it at your own pace, okay? But I know you want to have the truth out there. Exactly the truth. Okay? From start to finish, one time.
One time for the one time.
Oh, this is horrible.
I know.
It's horrible, though, you guys.
I know.
There was a gun Jim had bought for me.
That's true too.
That's very true.
Okay.
Jim bought the gun for me, wanted me to learn how to target practice.
Mm-hmm.
And he had set the gun in the corner
Where at? In which room?
in the, but next to the sliding glass door.
Okay.
He set that in the corner, and I knew the ammo was up there too.
Okay. And he had showed you how to load the gun.
Mm-hmm.
His biggest mistake.
Pills before I'd gone to bed.
Do you remember how many?
Probably like 6 or 8. Which sometimes when I do that I have a hard time sleeping to begin with, because that is how it messes with you sometimes.
It's kind of like make you agitated. And
It does. It kind of keeps
6
you
and a
up,
half,
makes you
600 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
Damn.
And I woke up at 5:30 in a panic. And that's when I went out and I got the gun. And I loaded one shell. And I came back into the bedroom and there was a throw blanket laying on the end of the bed. So I took that
Yo, Sean, you have a good night, brother.
and kind of rested the gun on his shoulder. And I pulled the trigger.
It's okay.
Oh my God, I'm just so sick about this. This is not me. I am not this person. I called 911 and I went back in to check on him. I couldn't feel a pulse.
Jen talked about how she had an addiction to pain pills and how she had been forging her patients' prescriptions. She said that the pills had a big impact on her and that she was not doing well.
The pressure of everything, the finances, and the drugs, and you live your day for that next fix.
She talked about how Jim was a good man and that he didn't deserve this.
My family is never going to forget. Neither is his. And my son. It was horrible. It was horrible once it happened. I thought, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? And that's why I made it look like someone tried to hurt me and came in and...
Okay. I want to make sure on a couple things, though, that are important, okay? Brady had nothing to do with any of this.
No.
Swear.
I swear to God. No, I swear to God.
And he doesn't know
No.
anything about it. He didn't help you set the scene up or
No.
anything.
Oh,
You
God,
truly,
no.
you truly didn't wake him up until
No.
afterwards.
I swear to God.
Okay.
I swear on my life, I swear.
Well, I know. I believe you if you swear that it's the truth. But
I do.
But I have to ask you that.
Yes.
I have to be clear on that.
I do. Brady had absolutely nothing to do with it. He was so startled when I went down there, because I was on the phone with 911 when I went down there to ask him. He was asleep. You know,
Okay.
he was dead asleep, and I called his name twice, and then he finally woke up.
And that ex-boyfriend,
you two never actually slept together?
No.
It was all just texting. So it was
Yes.
just flirting.
Absolutely.
It was never anything physical.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Nothing physical ever.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So he knew nothing of any of this.
No, absolutely
I mean, he
not. Oh,
didn't-
no, no.
Didn't say get rid of your husband.
No,
and
no.
Nothing like that. So
No.
he's not involved in this in any way.
No, he's not. No, he's
Okay.
not.
Okay.
No.
Nope, I'm just crazy as fuck.
Because I was wondering too, and because we had talked that morning and stuff, and then I went in there and you were on the couch sitting there with Brady. There was stuff laying there in the room, and there was a chair that was moved and stuff.
Mhm.
When did all that stuff get put in the room or changed, or? Because our assumption was that it, you kind of set that stuff up. Do you remember though what was put out there and moved around and stuff?
I know I had pushed the chair. I had disheveled the chair, the newsstand next to it,
Okay.
and the rope and the knife.
And where did the rope come from?
It was on the counter.
Okay. And the knife is a kitchen knife?
Yeah.
And so you brought that in there and
Yes.
just laid it down?
Yes.
Okay. That would have been before you called 911, though.
Yes.
And just the last couple things, so the cuts on your legs,
Yeah.
you inflicted?
Yes.
The marks on your neck?
Yes,
you
they were
inflicted.
self-inflicted.
Brady didn't help you inflict any
No.
of those things or do any of that?
No.
I know you say he's not involved, but I'm just
No.
making sure. You used the knife to make the marks on your neck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And same thing with your arms?
Yeah.
And the knife that you put out there or a different knife?
No, the same knife.
That same knife,
Yeah.
okay. If I have an opportunity to speak with Jim's family, would you like me to relay that message to them, that you're sorry?
I do.
Okay, I will do that.
It won't help, but
That may or may not be. You may be right, but if you want me to relay that message to them, I will.
it'd be nice. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
The investigation, along with Jennifer's statements, concluded that she had acted alone and that none of the
crazy
other
bitch.
associates, family members, friends, or anyone else was involved in this crime. Leslie assumed that Jen was cheating on her brother, but she said that she never thought in a million years that Jen would put the barrel of a shotgun on his shoulder and pull the trigger. On March 30th, 2011,
That's crazy.
Jennifer
Rippy-sized
Nibby was
fucking
indicted for first-degree murder. During the trial, she claimed to have no memory of what had happened on the day of her husband's death. Jen also said that she had suffered abuse at the hands of Jim Nibby.
Sitting with her hands folded over a Bible in court, Jennifer Lee Nibby dabbed tears from her eyes, saying, quote, "I understand the Nibby family cannot ever forgive me."
There is no such thing as justice in a case like this.
In the courtroom today, multiple victim impact statements were read. After Nibby's attorney spoke in defense, an outburst ensued. After today's hearing, James's sister, Leslie Nibby Johnson, spoke to the press.
Jen's lack of remorse and her inability to look my family in the face and simply say, "I'm sorry for killing your son, your brother, your uncle," is disgusting.
On July 9th, 2012, Jennifer Nibby takes a plea deal and is sentenced to 25 years. Jim's brother Dennis said that they didn't get justice. They got an agreement between lawyers. He states that he is frustrated and that this case has forever changed him. Darren, Jim's boss, said that Jim was only 200 hours from being able to test out for his journeyman's license. Darren said that it was really sad to know how close Jim had gotten to his goal, knowing that his life was cut short. Jason said that it was tough to keep on living his life without Jim. He said that there are old memories, but no new ones. Leslie said that Jen had taken away Jim's dreams of having a big family and being a successful electrician that wanted to have his own business one day. Remember to check out Aura with the link in the description.
Alright, chat. I'm fucking going to bed. I'm so tired. I am fucking pooched. I will be... It's tomorrow, Thursday? Yeah. I don't know if I'll be live in the morning or later in the day, but I will be live tomorrow 100%. Make sure to stop by. Peace.